yo, 1 2. Yo yo, 1 2. Yo yo, 1 2. Yes, yes. Back like we never left. Back for the first time. You are now tuned in to Pop the Trunk with Vinnie Paz. My name is Vinnie Paz. I am joined by my co-host with the co-most, the Mr. Majestic, left, right, left kid, Mr. Brandon Long. What's the word, Papa?
What up, what up, what up? We, something a little different, something a little new.
Right. Irish Billy's in the building.
Hello.
Look at him. Look at him.
Feeling
Look at
good.
him, left, right, left kid. How you doing, Billy?
Real good.
My name is Vinnie Paz. You might know me from such things as rapping, podcasts such as Knock 'Em Out the Box and Broad Street Breakdown, albums such as, what's his name, Troy McClure?
Troy McClure.
Albums such as Violent by Design, albums such as Season of the Assassin, crews such as Army of the Pharaohs, Official Pistol Gang, Heavy Metal Kings, Camouflage Regime, all of that. My co-host with the co-most, New York City is in the building.
Long Island specifically. I don't have a crew. I don't have any rap songs, rap albums. I just roll dolo, and that's the actual facts. You might catch me at the fights by myself. You might catch me with some heads, but a lot of times
I feel this is
dolo.
a cover-up for him being a menace in Brooklyn and Long Island through all the 90s.
I might.
He almost killed a guy in a road
own
rage accident
right.
on the
He's
phone
already,
with me last
Wait,
week.
what? Who said that? Said who?
You.
I did what?
You were like cursed a guy out in a road rage incident while speaking to me last week.
That was child's play.
Billy, I like how he's lying as if the true stories won't expose themselves on future episodes.
Hey man, people got to tune in to find out. You know what I'm saying?
When
If they don't tune in, they ain't gonna find out. So if you listen to this, listen again and again and again. You might,
right.
we might drop some Easter eggs for you.
I think Brendan still needs to give us what episode this is.
Numero uno.
Indeed.
Zap.
No doubt. Guys, this is Pop the Trunk. As I said, my name is Vinnie
That's your
Paz.
bilingual podcast. That's our bilingual.
That's the extent of it.
That's the extent of it.
Right. I guess
Bad
first
brandy.
and foremost, Bob Rendo. Shout out Bad Bunny.
Bonnie.
So I guess we should talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing on Pop the Trunk, and how we know each other. For those who may have listened to Broad Street Breakdown, and know the fellas Pablo and the OG Gavin over there, and or if they didn't listen to Knock 'Em Out the Box, the boxing podcast we did for 4 or 5 years, and now we decided to sort of combine all of our interests and go back to talking about everything. I never really on those shows that I talk about my career, certainly not at length. You know what I mean? It was just sort of, I don't know how to word that, something background. It was conversational at best.
The elephant in the room, so to speak.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was always this thing I think people wanted to hear about, but you would sort of drop little here's and there's, because you can't, if you have something talking about yourself, you can't not mention it.
Yeah, well, it's tricky when you're not a fan of that. When you're not, when you're someone who's just wants to put themselves over all the time, my guess is you would just have completely take control of that podcast, meaning Broad Street Breakdown, and just talked about yourself the whole time. I mean, it's hard with interviews when people say things. It's whatever that trait is called, I'm not good at taking compliments or something. Like if I'm doing an interview with someone that I don't know, whether it's Europe or whatever, it's and someone is being kind with compliments, it's awkward. I try to shift it. So
right.
I wasn't avoiding talking about it as much as I'm just feels it's unnatural to my character to just do that me shit, until people were like, well, do you think you can shake that if we're telling you that we find it interesting? No, you're not being egotistical if you tell stories of it. You know what I mean? And it just didn't go that way. And it didn't have to with those guys, because not only did I'm speaking about Broad Street Breakdown, not only did we grow up together, and it's been a million years, but there were so many other places to go in terms of conceptually and ideologically, simply because we could do months and months on end, never referencing hip hop at all. You know, we could talk about punk rock shows or da 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 da. And I think what had happened over there, because when we were doing Zoom meetings to discuss Pop the Trunk, me, you, and Billy, we were discussing how because I don't think you heard those shows, Brendan. When we started off at Broad Street Breakdown, we were doing like top 5 lists. I think like what was it, Billy? Like the first 5 episodes.
Yeah, there
Maybe
were a bunch in the beginning that you guys
right,
were doing
maybe
lists.
more than that, B. So it was like, I think if you tuned in and were interested in me and my career and the music, you were like, oh, well, this is a logical step. And then when we moved from that, it took a fucking right turn. And I think some people were like, oh, you're never gonna talk
Right.
about this? Okay, I still dig it, but like you're just ignoring this huge part of your life. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's also too, you have your fans are your fans due to your music first. Then they got to know you and then want to know more about you, know you through your music. And then this is a more down to earth setting where
Right,
you're
but
a
do you think-
conversational setting.
Let me ask you guys both something though. Do you think like what I did was sort of get to the point where I made such a hard left turn where I was like ignoring this part of what I did, which I
mean,
think we wanted to
as
turn
a,
into here.
yeah, right. I mean, we're going to more lean into it.
Right.
So leaning away from it, I guess to just, I mean, I've talked to you privately about it where you were like, it's just maybe like a couple hours a week. I don't want to talk about business and work.
Yeah.
And I can go just talk about other interests I have. I think a lot of people don't realize that too, like about a working musician. You know, when you leave work, the regular 9 to 5 people, do you only talk about work? You know, I don't.
I think if you're like a super square, you do, but we're not. So I don't think we understand that. But you've
Right.
been at the place, both of you, with the kids, where the dads are like, so I'm building this shed with Buddy from work. And you're like, yo, do you ever stop?
Right. No.
Like, does this ever?
They just fill their day with hobbies so that they don't have to think about
Say what you
anything
mean,
else.
so that they don't kill themselves. That's what you mean.
Maybe. You know, so they don't chew a bullet. But
Right.
no, I think
Is
a lot
that
of
why you coach soccer there, Mr. Long?
100%. No, do you guys, you know, we can't coach soccer anymore. I got removed
It's amazing.
after
Yeah, I mean, there's
the-
an episode in
Yeah,
that. You're,
right.
you're such a menace to this Long Island.
What was the line?
Yeah, what was the line they gave you?
No,
That
what
I
did you
gave them?
say to the
Oh, what did I
Yeah,
say?
Yeah, you had a dart
To the
for that.
coordinator?
You
yeah.
had a dart for the
When
coordinator.
he told me he'd have me removed,
Mhm.
Right.
I said, by who? You, those two fat fucks over there? I said, I'll turn this place into a fucking morgue.
There it is.
That's it.
And he was,
Billy, first episode title?
Yes.
I'll turn this
We've
place
got
into
it.
a fucking morgue.
you know,
Long,
It's,
you're coming up with, you're contributing creatively without even knowing. Just by
That's
your
it.
mental illness, by your rage.
well,
Your rage
you know, it's funny.
disorder.
I was talking the other day with a friend and I said, something, something, something. He goes, yeah, well, I mean, we're all fucking lunatics, bro. I said, I still get into fistfights. I'm 45 years old.
Yeah, yeah,
You know?
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I don't, some days I don't know how to relate to the regular average Joe. That's why I talk to you guys now.
Yeah.
Mostly
I don't
chat
even
with you
know
guys.
if I know the story how you two originally even met.
Well, okay. So, look. Social media is
Mhm.
a scourge. You know, it's a plague. And then there's these little nuggets of stories where you go, wow, I have like a lifelong friend because of it. And you go, well, maybe
Mhm.
that balances out the
Right.
hell that it is. So, Billy, essentially, what it was, B and I would now I'm gonna ask B some questions regarding this.
Sure.
I don't know how, Billy. So I'm telling you, and then B will fill in. You know what I mean? The gaps, no Diddy, on what I know or don't know. So I don't know if B would see me on Twitter. So guys, everyone listening, we met via boxing Twitter. So which makes it more interesting because we have so much in common outside of that.
Right.
That it became this thing, which leads to us doing a podcast together. But I didn't know so we would just go back and forth a little bit on there, Billy, regarding the fights and stuff. But I didn't know if he knew who I was music wise, or if was just like, oh, no, this guy's like, you know what I'm saying? So we would talk that way, and it eased itself into him commenting on stuff where I was like, oh, he's ahead. Like I would post a polo picture or something. He'd be like, 10th grade. And I was like, not only does this dude know this, but he speaks in my speak, because I do that. I go, oh, blah, 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 9th grade. Oh, blah, blah, blah. Remember that dude?
And then we realized, we did realize we knew a lot of the same people. I used to go to shows a lot in the 90s and 2000s. And then I went to college in Connecticut. Specifically, I lived in New Haven, Connecticut for 4.5 years. So there is, at that time, from 98 to 2002, what I would say was probably the heyday of my golden era of rap music, which is like the mid 90s. It's not the golden era of rap music. It's
it's yours.
My goal. So like that post, I hate to say it, like post Tupac and Biggie dying, was when people like myself got involved in a very rudimentary level in rap music, where like I would find this is no bullshit. Like we would get like club nights. We would like do like our own like small promotion to get like local, like we were really into it, like local rappers. And we did this one thing where we would have like 4 floors of a abandoned warehouse, and like there would be graffiti on one floor, breakdancing on another floor, guys rapping, sometimes very poorly, on another floor, and then like a DJ spinning either house music or like just beats from like the 90s.
Right.
That was, you know, that, and then going to shows. So from, how old are you when you can go to shows on your own? 13, 14? So like
it depends on if you're a menace like us as opposed to normal
like
people.
So 8th grade to all through college, I would go to shows. I've seen Vinnie perform,
which is arguably the most important years of your life as a boy becoming a man or a young adult.
And then,
whether they're the most important, they're definitely the most influential on who you are to become.
Absolutely. You know? This is what shapes you. But again, I think why you and I connected was because A, boxing, B, then it's like, yo, do you know Boo Boo Boo? Do you know Boo Boo Boo?
There was also a group of people we both wanted to smack.
Correct.
So I was like, yo, this is awkward. So just, I'm telling you, feel free to check me.
Right.
I'm going to throw some names at you. If it's your man, like, I'll apologize. And I rattled off like 5 names of people that we both knew from Twitter who were fresh. And he's like, oh, we can smack all of them.
Right. I had no issue with that. So then, so.
But Brendan, you knew Vinnie was a musician
as a rapper?
in addition to the boxing stuff.
Of course,
when you were
because I had, then I said, wait a second, did you perform on this bill? Were you here? Were you there? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, I was at that show.
Right.
And then of course, because I went to college in Connecticut, the New England guys always, like more so than the guys in Philly, would perform in Connecticut. And
you've been there, Billy. It's called Toad's Place.
Toad's Place.
I remember.
Yeah.
So there's Toad's Place. Yeah.
It's famous to everyone listening, even if you're not a hip hop head. If you're on the East Coast, there's like a venue in every city, and that's the Connecticut venue.
Is that the backstage where everyone signs the wall?
Yeah. And everyone can basically come in like the bathrooms right there.
Yeah.
So like you have to have either goons, or like you never want security around because of the view that people like us have of them. You know what I mean? Like they're police to me. I'm not saying like
it's also famous for putting a fishnet, like a giant fishnet, in between the 21 side and the
it's a mockery.
So they can't pass like drinks through it.
Like guys would go in there and just rip a hole in the thing and be like,
that's hilarious.
And then they had they also had, and I don't know if you guys know about this, it was Wednesdays and Saturday nights. It was called Wednesday Saturday Night Dance Party at Toad's Place. It was on their answering machine, like if you called Toad's.
Okay.
And it was like, famous Wednesday Saturday Night Dance Party. And if you had a college ID, it was free entry and open bar, or $5 to get in or whatever it was, an open bar for 2 hours. So you just keep running to the, and then like whatever amp was
Stack
there,
it. Yeah,
stack,
yeah,
and just
stack it
whatever
up.
well drinks you could get your hands on, and it was like natural light, 8-ounce cups of natural light, and then like those little, remember the cups they served there? They
Yeah,
had
of
the 2
course.
bars in the place.
Yep.
So Toads was like a good hangout. There's another place called Emerald City. Did you play at the Brickyard in Hartford?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like,
It's hard to remember, right?
Yeah, it's hard to remember, and I was embraced by New England, as
Yeah.
one of their own, to the point where, besides the places that off rip, Toads, the Middle
Yeah,
East,
right.
Paradise, then it starts getting like, I could be like, yeah, B, I was in the hood in Hartford for this one show, but that was
Right.
like when you're
There's
still
Lupo's
struggling
in
and
Providence.
yeah, Lupo's,
yeah.
like Lupo's was lit, but Lupo's was like a punk rock spot.
Yep.
What's this? The Living Room. Remember the Living
Yeah.
Room in
I
Providence?
remember
Yeah.
the living room.
Yeah, like, yo, these places are legendary, guys. But if you build up legendary and what that word means too much in your mind, and Brandon being a New Yorker will understand this, and all of my New Yorkers will understand this. It's like, let's not mince words. What CBGB's was,
Like, it's a shit all.
like, bro, it's like.
Ankle deep piss in the
Yeah, I
bathroom.
mean,
It
if
was
you say
gross.
that's top 5 shitholes in the U.S. as far as venues, I'd go, it might be top 3.
CB's is brutal, bro.
Brutal. Billy, did you ever
No.
make it there?
No.
Yeah.
No, you never went to CB's? Oof.
So I saw hardcore shows there.
I can
but
still smell CB's.
yeah, me too.
That smell.
They took the urinals, B, and put them at that spot in Vegas.
Really?
And I'm like, yo, you're taking nostalgia to a level of like, now you're giving diseases away to people. So, Billy,
it's like when you introduce an
doors
animal
to the
into another
bathrooms.
country, it becomes an
Yeah.
invasive species.
yeah, you're like, you're putting
can't
like a cat in a polar bear
Right.
like thing and just watching it react.
You mess up the whole like ecosystem.
The ecosystem, right? Yeah, like the world is now what's going on now with the world is the direct result of moving the CB's urinals
the
to
CB's
Vegas
urinals to Vegas.
to live, and it spawned like a creature.
Ugh.
Like whoever pumped off in those urinals is now like a.
Would you go in and there'd be like a dude, just no door, just dropping
No
a
door.
deuce?
There was never a door when I was.
No,
Now look, none of us on this air are old enough to say, "Oh, in the beginning," because literally we weren't born.
Right.
No one on this radio show, this podcast, was born when it was like bands that came through there changed the world. The
Right.
Ramones, Blondie, Television. This was like, yeah. So, in what year was that? 20 years ago this month, me, Ill Bill, Q Unique, Suboxo, all nonfiction, all of us. We did 2 back-to-back sold out
Back-to-backs?
shows. Yeah, back-to-back. It was
CB's?
like, I think it was like
In
doors
06.
opened at 9. We like, yeah.
Okay.
Doors opened at like 9 or like 8 or 9 for the first one. We did what we
This
did.
is pre Heavy Metal Kings, right? This predates
the song Heavy Metal Kings existed. But
Existed,
the
but
group
not the
didn't
group
have
did not
music.
exist
Right,
yet.
right. But
Right,
we
okay.
were talking about it like, yo, we should do this thing.
right.
Da 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 da. But it didn't materialize for like 4 or 5 more years. But we were already plotting.
I was gonna say, what was that? 2011 that came out or 2010?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 2011, I think. But so that's like one of those moments in your career where you go, look, this club from a capacity standpoint isn't very big.
Right.
It's not crazy to say, oh, we sold out a 400 cap
Right.
twice. That's not the
CB.
craziest thing you ever heard. But when you go, yo, we did back-to-back sold out shows at CBGB's and then see the records that were there and
That's dope.
That's
what it created, culturally speaking. You know what I'm saying? Like if you
Yeah.
So that's one of those things.
Well, you played all the spots: SOBs, Bowery, CB's, Knitting Factory, right?
Yeah, B. I did the Troubadour, bro.
That's
You
dope.
know, in LA, like that. Like,
Did you ever do
Red
like
Rock.
the
Hammerstein?
whiskey?
Did you ever do in New
no,
York?
because no, that's probably the lone because I did the Ritz, which is now what, B? Irving Plaza. Is because they changed it. Remember they used to do hardcore shows.
Mhm.
So I think isn't it called Irving now, Billy? The Manhattan one we would do.
Well,
Yeah,
Irving
Irving
I think
Plaza.
it's called
yeah.
Irving Plaza. B.
Yeah.
But that was the old Ritz.
Okay.
So when you see that footage of Gorilla Biscuit, Sick of It All from the In Effect
Yeah.
video, that was at the Ritz, Billy. That's what it used to be called. So there would be hardcore matinees with fucking 1,500 kids, like a madhouse, you know? So to play there, because someone hipped me, a New Yorker hipped me when they were like, yo, you know that's just the Ritz, right? Under a different
Fillmore you're
name. I
thinking
was
of, right? The Fillmore. It was the Fillmore.
No, the Fillmore, and then the West Coast Fillmore, where everything went
Yeah.
down. I played there too, because when the
Okay.
dude was giving me a tour, he was like, "Yeah, Janice and Jimmy like almost died right here. They took
That's dope.
like hot doses." And they
So
needed
this
to be-
says Irving Plaza was known as the Fillmore.
And what about and it was the Ritz too, or what if you put like the Ritz, Manhattan, or
Anyway.
Yeah,
You've
so-
you played some
so
dope
we
spots.
we just and the other thing that happened too is we didn't shoot the shit that way for mad years. We got close mad quick. So this is
Oh,
like
me and you?
pretty,
Yeah.
we I guess
Boxing tends to do that. Music tends
Yeah.
to do that.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then
Well,
yeah,
because
and it-
you're in these you go, oh, you're part of this thing. Punk rock kids get it, hip hop kids get it. And when I mean hip hop kids, you guys listening know what I mean. I don't
Yeah.
mean people that listen to Flow Rida or something. No disrespect to him. I just mean the culture of it, where you're like, oh no, I was in the trenches. And of course, you go be like what you and I have the similar story, just in different 90 miles apart, of being like, yeah, I was the white boy.
yeah,
You
I
know what
mean,
I'm saying?
yeah.
Like,
and I had similar friends that you did that. My friends were kind of span the
spectrum of subculture.
subculture, right?
Yeah, you
and
knew
then
New
of course,
York hardcore
course,
kids.
Yeah, and then of course I had very like my best man at my wedding is mainstream dude. You know what I mean? Like, in fact, when he watched that, I hate to say mainstream. He's one of the funniest, most genuine people I know. You know what I mean? But like,
No, he's just on some regular shit.
just-
That's
yeah,
not,
right.
That's not a diss.
no,
He's just not wrapped up in the
Right.
subculture shit.
it was
He just
like the
does his
stuff
thing.
that I was really into. I get almost like what's the word? I get like obsessed with certain stuff, you know,
Mhm.
and it was like everything else. Like back then, if you bought a record, the easiest way for me to like, I don't know, the easiest way for me to describe it for like a 90s era kid, and you could do this with anybody else, is you would look at the back of the tape or the CD or the record that you had. For me, it was mostly tapes. I always like tapes. They're more better than CDs.
Mhm.
Because Discmen skipped, you know, and the batteries wore out fast. So if I wanted to listen to shit myself, I like the tape better. And I didn't have a CD burner. So if I wanted to make, you know, a mixtape or whatever, I always had tapes. You look at the label and then find out, like, so like, you know, Loud Records is probably the best, the shining example I could say for hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Wu-Tang, Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? And then you just follow whoever's on
They
Loud.
started. Remember when they started Madcap?
Yeah.
Remember
Yeah.
Madcap?
Yeah.
They were from. Yeah.
But like, you know, you would, or like Native Tongues, or you know, you'd find a crew that you liked, and then boom, you go out and buy the other tapes and records.
Yeah.
You know,
this
like-
guy's down with this guy. You hear Q-Tip on Straight Out the Jungle, and you go, oh wait, hold
Well,
on.
that's a whole nother thing. You know, it was I would back discover stuff. Did you ever do that? You know what I'm saying? Like you,
Yeah. Well,
because when I'm
your
a little
sister's
kid,
younger, right? Your
Yeah,
sister's
9 years
younger or
younger
older?
than me.
Yeah. See, my brothers are 11 and 12 years older than
Yeah,
me.
it's a
Most
different
people go, oh, my older brother, and they're 3 years, 4
Right.
years. You know what I mean? Like,
well, I'm the oldest, so like my shit was whatever. You know, I go ahead. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, not at all. I was just gonna say that, like, that's a cheat code, man. When you're 6 and your brother's 17, you're
Wow.
skipping. You are skipping all of, like, oh, I have to weed through to not become a square that you do in your childhood. You go like, oh, I
No,
was
they're
into-
like, this is what's cool.
correct, like, bro.
Yeah.
My oldest brother brought the Sucker MC's 12-inch home when I was 6 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So it's
yeah.
like I'm immediately in. Boom, pop, pop, boom, pop. I'm going, what the fuck is happening here? And then I'm hearing the first Sabbath album. when I'm 6.
Right.
Then again, my oldest brother, his best friend gives me a cassette when I'm a small child. One side was Nevermind the Bullocks, and the other side was the Dead Boys album.
Right.
And then
okay.
there's a Sucker MC's 12-inch. I'm like, what is?
Yeah,
My
it's-
brain
your
is
brain
already
is-
corrupted.
right.
So
That's similar to me. My next door neighbor, like, would go through like, like the phases or whatever, right? Like the 80s phases. He's 7 years older than me, right? But he was like a god to us in the neighborhood.
Of course,
Like, he
and
was
7 years old is in the realm of cheat code. That's a
right,
cheat
and he
code.
was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like he was good at skateboarding. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then when that phase was over, he got like a Raz scooter. You know what I'm saying? Like and rode that shit around. Then, of course, he graduated in like car theft and other stuff that you're like, holy shit, like this dude's wild. But he put me on to.
Is he alive?
Yeah, actually, yeah. It's I could tell you who he is off air. It'll blow your mind. But
Interesting, Billy. Interesting.
when I was a kid, I mean, he was into like everything. Like it was like 1 minute he'd be into like Led Zeppelin and some classic rock, right? And then the next minute it was Run DMC, and that's what resonated with me.
Yeah.
Was Run DMC Raising Hell. That was what.
Well, there's a picture of you, that I know of. You're little. I think it's at the Christmas tree, but I could be wrong.
It was Christmas, and
I need that picture.
The picture of me with
I've seen it.
With my Run DMC sweatshirt on.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that pic. We should mix that little fella with the little Pazzy in the all white suit with the white Capizios and make them friends.
Make them friends and put that. Yeah,
we're gonna AI that very soon.
Yeah.
So I was into
Billy. I have the all white bits too.
best.
Capizios.
What did we use that for? We used it.
Poppy Wardrobe.
Poppy Wardrobe. Yeah.
That ushered in the Beastie Boys, right? So Run DMC and the Beastie Boys, they're always linked to me.
They are, and of course they are. They're linked to everyone from our generation, whether like it or not. People who go, "Oh, I don't like the Beastie Boys," well, pack you up first of all if you don't like the Beastie Boys. But that's what Russell wanted. He was like, I want white boy versions of these guys.
Right?
And because we become massive as Run DMC, it could only get bigger if we do this with 3 Jewish kids from New York.
Right.
Imagine the scale this could be on, and they were right. They happened to be right. It could have failed, but they didn't.
And then that ushered in everything else.
Def Jam and Rick Rubin, and then it's over.
And then it was LL Cool J, and then it was like I can go through like what, and then that was what the kids in the neighborhood listened to. Also mixed in with like the 80s era glam,
of course,
rock and roll,
of course.
You know what I mean? Which is I never really was big on, except
long
for
hair and makeup on.
I did. I had long hair, but not like.
Did you have a moulet or tail?
No, neither one had. I had the shelf.
I had the high top spike. I actually have the picture.
No, but that's lit. Did you have a moulet or a tail?
Never.
No, but I had the like the sides trimmed out, in the vents.
I would get the steps on the side.
Yeah,
that's lit.
Yeah,
that's
I had that
with the high top.
You should both get it now. You should get a high top fade now, Billy.
I will.
At 40.
Yeah,
I should. I think you're.
I
right.
heard. But something strange, B. I heard Tila Rock, It's Yours before the Beasties.
Really?
Yeah. So it went Run DMC, Tila Rock. Yeah, then it's off to the fucking
and then off to the races for me, exactly. Like so it was KRS, it was Public Enemy. And then figuring out that these people were from like around where I was from. You know what I mean? Like especially like we could in future shows if people care, just talk about regionally where people came.
You tend to do, you start gravitating and going, wait, this guy, because New York is New York, bro. Everyone looks to New York. So in Philly, you start developing this chip where you're like, what about our guys? So it's
to me, being from Long Island, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
So, there's EPMD, there's K Solo, there's
Freddie
Biz,
Fox,
right.
Yeah.
The Rakim, De La. I mean, the list goes on. PE. So for me, it was like, oh, this is
shout out Kirk Gazelle.
This Granddaddy IU.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. This art form to me, like I got real hype to it because I could, it was, even though I'm a white kid, you know what I mean? I was like, oh shit, this is this is ill, and all these people are from around. Like I could drive past, like, oh, that's where that guy's from.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying? Like, oh, that's where that guy's from. Oh, that's where that guy's from. And then of course you always knew someone like, yo, man, my cousin is, blah, 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 blah.
That was
like, oh, word.
The one thing about our era is like the bullshit was on go mode because there was no way to check them.
Right.
Like,
Right.
my cousin's Cool C, and I was like, I got
no argument for that.
Look, he lives on Lansdowne Ave. That's not far from here. I guess you can see be Cool C's cousin. That sounds good enough for me. Yeah, Cool B.
Yeah,
a boy. I remember like first day of 9th grade, boy was like, I just got signed to Def Jam, and I'm like, I mean, he raps,
right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not signed to Def Jam. I'm Italian. I know Def Jam's not offering me a deal.
Yo, mid 90s kids I knew. Yo, just had a meeting over at Jive. Just had a meeting over at Tommy Boy. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
It was at the see, even though like I think maybe by the time, again, it wasn't what it is today. Maybe by the time of some of this, certainly when you were in college, the internet was a thing. Because I'm like, one thing that always happens to me with me and my friends is my situation is a bit different twofold. And it's that, one, because of how much older my brothers were, and the cheat code. That's one. And then B, could you check on the bullshit when it was being fed to me? And like, I never even heard the word internet when people were like, yo, Cool C's my cousin. If someone told you in 97 or 8 or 9, if 99, when did you graduate high school? 97? 98?
98.
So when you were at college, now it wasn't what it is today.
I would say every third or fourth kid in college had their own computer. Like every third or fourth dorm room had, I used to have to go to the library to go onto the computer. I
didn't have my own computer until around 9/11 because I remember being
my own computer 2005.
Yeah, my own. I bought one in 2001 because I was like, I guess I need one for
what I do.
What
I did. I said, I guess I need a fucking computer.
So I need to be like a part of this deal, Well, for you
especially.
Yeah.
If you're trying to start a career or you're fostering a career,
we don't want to go off on too much of a tangent, but how big and important were those message boards and shit, Brendan? For like hip-hop shit.
Again, for the guy who didn't have a computer till 2005, I wasn't like hip to those message boards too much.
See, Pablo being in computers for work, and he's still
in the computer.
He's actually
he's in the
computer. He was the first person I knew. Like, I would write my papers in high school for Pablo. Like, I sent my first email in 94, I think, to my teacher on Pablo's computer.
Wow.
And hiphopsite.com, shout out Pizzo.
That was my homepage.
That's where I would shop for records.
Right.
So I would give Pablo cash because Pablo was the adult of all of us.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? He had a computer and a credit card you know what I mean? In the mid 90s.
Credit card?
Yeah, bro. In 96, that guy had a credit card. I'm like, a credit card?
That's
like, what are you? I was like, are you the Pope? You got a car and a credit card and an apartment? This is lit. So I would give him cash, according to the bill, and get the records delivered to my crib from hiphopsite.com. And Pizzo became a friend because he's like, yo, y'all are like our biggest seller. And then you met Pizzo in Vegas, Billy, when you passed out at the Circle Bar. Yeah.
I don't remember that meeting.
William.
Yo, literally
Weekend at Billy's.
Literally Weekend at Billy's, big. He had to be he was like, that's literally what he looked at. And I was like, well, pack him up. So Crip and someone else took him. I was like, pack him up. I'm not leaving the Circle Bar, but pack him up.
I'm pretty sure at some point Crip just put me over his shoulder.
That's very possible. So sometimes you go around the world to get across the street, but that's how B and I connected.
Yeah.
What version of Twitter were you guys on? How long ago was that?
We were recording Heavy Metal Kings in 2010 at Scott's in South Philly, and
it was after
Bill was like blah, blah, blah on Twitter and like reading things. I'm like, what's that? And he's like, you need to get this. So I did. So it was probably like a year after that, a year or two after that.
I was like a
2011,
little late
2012.
to the Twitter boxing.
I was too.
I got
'Cause
Twitter.
Bill hipped me. I didn't know what the fuck
I
it
got
was.
Twitter because friend of, now he'll be a friend of the show, but friend of the show, Paulie Malignaggi, shout out to Paulie,
the Magic Man.
He was like, yo, you got to get Twitter. And I was like, he's like, oh, yeah, Twitter. He was early on Twitter. Remember, like
that's two
interacting
good
with
recommendations, though. An Ill Bill recommendation and a Paul Magic Man two-time champion
and a Paulie recommendation. So he was like, yo, you got to get Twitter. There's good boxing shit on there. And I was like, I said, I thought that Twitter, this is what I thought it was. I just thought it was like, I'm going to the store now. You know what I mean? Like, you just
I thought it was that for 2 years. I think I was on it. And I was like, is that what this is?
Is that what you're supposed to do here?
Is that what am I supposed to do?
Right. What am I supposed to do here? Do you just
It sounds so archaic to say that.
It does. It's,
whether you call it Twitter or X.
Because now we document everything. Like, I mean, I'm guilty of it yesterday. I made food. I took a picture of it and I posted it to Instagram.
I made a post years ago on my personal Facebook, and I was like, they are now using Twitter tweets on the news. I was like, that is the final nail in journalism.
Right. And you're right.
That someone tweeted something and that screenshot of it is on not hood news. I'm not talking World Star. I'm not talking none of that. Real national news. And I when it was the little bird logo for Twitter, I was like, this is the final nail in journalism. Forget hip hop journalism. Like real journalism is the final nail.
I mean, whatchamacallit? For those of you guys out there that don't know, I used to work at NBC. And Jimmy Fallon's show, he had a segment when he replaced Conan, and Conan went to Leno's spot before that whole debacle happened. I think it was on there. It was like I didn't know what a hashtag was. So they would just
of course
put a hashtag up, and then they would read it's like a 7-minute segment of them just reading someone else from home writing their show.
Right. It's
you know what I mean? Like, it's wild.
Yeah, we saw it in real time. You know, that's why someone recently, I forget who it was. It might have been someone. It might have been Bill Burr, but I don't want to attribute it to anyone. But they were sort of talking about how our generation's the illest, and everyone thinks their generation's the illest. That's fair. That's nature. That's natural. But they were like, we are the only generation that ever will be this. And he said the following, like, we played outside and had the internet.
Yeah, I was actually going to bring that up. Yeah,
we're the ones that connected. We were the bridge that where you say, like our kids, you go like, oh, they'll never know what it was like, to like blah blah blah, some moronic thing we did.
We had to teach our parents how to use computers.
Right. But we are the only generation that has this thing
that didn't have them and had them.
Yeah, like we lived like the Goonies, you know, like that movie. We did that type shit and had adventures. Yeah, and like still rumbled and punched people in the eye, and then we had like social media at still a normal age that it was like
it is strange how fast the world has moved.
Yeah. And then listen, so B, do you know in real life, like off air, how Billy and I became friends?
You guys, tell the world.
Right, but I'm saying, did you know? Do you know?
I'm all ears. Just tell the story.
It's not an answer, Billy. What is that? What is he's no selling?
He's asking a question. He's no selling you.
Right.
Well, I know that. Well, I don't want to. I want Bill. Go ahead, Bill.
It's a yes or no question.
Yes, I know.
I've known Billy's cousin McGruff, who was another pioneer white boy. Mike had the flat top. Mike had Big Daddy Kane tapes. This is when you were still, again, guys, subculture. We understand that if you're listening, you're probably like, what are you talking about? There's white boys everywhere. That is not part of our era, guys, like at all. I'm talking about there being 600 people at Club Fever and 4 of them are white. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of era existed at one time, and it was the most ill era. That was the most thorough era. you know, Eminem made sure that died a fucking slow, painful death. But so me and
Can't
McGruff
blame
ran
him, though.
around.
Him. He didn't do it on
Right.
purpose.
No. Me and McGruff ran around with each other because then, again, subculture, you're like, oh, you're part of this thing? Because these other people aren't. So you were like friends by default in that era. If you were into some shit that wasn't what regular kids were doing, which is like, you used the word mainstream before. Like, if you're not listening to pop music, or you're not playing one of the 4 major sports, or you're not playing, so you got to find your tribe.
Sure.
And that didn't mean racially then. It was like, oh, these Puerto Rican and black kids are doing this. I don't care who this is. This kid's Asian and he's into hip hop. Bet. This kid's Guatemalan, he's into hip hop. Bet. This kid's Boricua. Cool, whatever. But if you're into what I'm into, we're clicking up. So me and Mike ran the city and we're menaces together. And Billy's would have been literally a child, a small. Like
you guys
your
are
kid,
older than me.
I think your oldest son, Billy, would have been that age when I met your cousin.
Probably.
How old is Nash now?
6.
Yeah, that's probably how old you would have been when me and your cousin met. Your cousin's a year older than me. So we met then, and then when being like 06, like late 06, we get stepped to by Chang, who was running Rock the Bells / the Pay Dues Festival. Remember those festivals?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, okay, let me hit my brother and see that if we pay him what he makes at merch, will he drive the tour bus? Because that's like, you have to lock that down. You know what I mean? And he's like, yeah, I just have to make what I make it work. I don't want anything more, anything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
He somehow pulled that off. And then I'm like, okay, we need a tour manager. Let's get Cousin Frizz. Someone's got to someone should document this. And McGruff's like, yo, my little cousin is like he's at Penn State, but he's in film school. And I was like, well, is he like you, Mike? Is he fucking grumpy? And
You're like, you could never tour with McGruff.
No, one day, pack him up. Fine, he'll say the same about me, even though he's nuts. But what up, Mike? Love you. So we meet. It's fucking freezing cold at like the top of 07 in a bar on the outskirts of West Philly and like drink ourselves into a coma. And I'm like, yeah. So I don't have to tell anybody listening that touring or living with someone, and let's be honest, it's the same thing. B, you know this about your then girlfriend, now wife. Billy, same thing. You've had roommates. You live with Park.
Sure, I've had roommates.
Within a week or two, you know that person more than someone that you've known that you didn't live with in 2 weeks.
100%.
You know somebody 10 years and never lived with them. You live with someone for a solid month, 30 days.
You know their habits. You know what they...
Bro.
When you know what someone sounds like when they sleep.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And
we've talked about something here. That's skipping the line in having older brothers. And you, Brendan, you had a neighbor 7 years old. You skip the line in life too, when you have either so much in common or get into such a heavy relationship, meaning, yo, now you're going to live together.
Right.
Like we lived together for the summer of 07, bro. There was I didn't need the previous 15 years to suss him out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If I can back up for a minute, just from my end of things, you know, I always knew who Vinnie was and that my cousin was friends with him.
I was going to ask you that because as long as you're one of my closest friends on earth, I consider you family. My mom does, all of that. I was going to say, yo, actually on air, ask Billy if like him and his boys listen to you.
Yeah, I was a fan, and I had like the story to say like, yeah, my cousin like went.
But were you a
fan
fan because of McGruff? Or would you have been hip even if it wasn't your cousin?
I think I heard you because of McGruff, but I was a fan because I was into hip hop.
So you had friends who knew no connection.
And
like,
already
like
knew who you
guys.
were. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I never
100%.
knew that, actually. You probably told me the night we got ossified, but who would remember
I
that?
graduated. It's the summer after I graduated, and I was like, I'm a film major. I was like, you know, I didn't want to get a job. So I was trying to like, you know, do whatever I could.
Extended summer, they call it.
Yeah, with
isn't it?
like with like my
extended
video
summer?
camera. And
Supposedly that summer from when you graduate, whether it's high school or college, you apparently are like supposed to try to extend it as long as you
Oh,
can.
yeah.
Lo and behold, Pazzy's been doing it. I'm still extending that summer when they somehow gave me that fucking diploma, Brendo. Which who knows how that happened? Who did I have to grease? No puff to get that.
Maybe one day I'll divulge my my high school GPA.
Oh boy.
I don't know mine. I just know
it's bad.
I don't. I believe. I'll bet I don't.
So I'm the
have
smart one of the group.
I'll bet you there's just no. I'll bet
We
you
can
there's
barely
just
log on to
nothing
these
on mine.
computers.
Can there just be nothing?
This is 0.
Yeah.
No, because that would be a 0.
Well,
Like, could it be like this person didn't exist to us? We're wiping our hands of that. That my Spanish teacher was like, okay, this is how much I don't like you.
He packed you up.
If you sit in the closet, but it had glass, it would probably be illegal if it didn't have glass. I don't know if you had it at any of your schools, either one of you, but their personal area, the teachers of the room, was encased by glass.
no.
So she was like, if you stay in there and stop being a menace, I'll just pass you. And
Like
I was
a
like,
monkey in a cage.
They just
yes.
put
And I
you
was
in
like,
the-
deal. I'll take that deal all day long, twice on Sunday. So
Yeah.
I'll get like a C or something, right? I'm not asking you for an A, but don't pack me up with an F. And I got, you know what I mean? Spanish 1. So she put me in there, pack you up, but it was like a mutual admiration
Right.
society. Like,
Yeah.
I hate you, you hate me.
Yeah,
You're really not
We
packing
know what
me up,
this
and we're
is.
both. We know what this is, honey.
Let's
Right.
not. Let's
Yeah,
not
We
you
know
got
what
it.
this is. We know what this is. Yes, I agree, but don't be foul and I get an F at the end. And I'm like,
Right.
yo, if you fail me, I'm coming out of my cage after the first quarter and I'm coming back, baby.
You're like
You're
a shit
shattering
fling.
glass
You're like a
like Stone
shit flinging
Cold.
monkey.
I was throwing shit.
Feces?
Yes, when they would, when they would poke, you're not supposed to tap
Yeah,
on the
they
glass.
would-
If
they
they
come bah, bah, bah,
tap,
bah.
because I was like, yo, that's 46 minutes to write rhymes that I didn't have before.
For me, I'll put it to you like this. I got thrown out of a class, and then I was like, all right, cool. In New York State, you have to carry a certain amount of credits each semester to like be a student.
Yeah.
So I get this call over the speakers. I think I might have told you guys this privately. So I had this it's like a Southern black grade level principal. He's like, Mr. Brendan Long, you gotta come down to my office right now. And his name was Mr. Shout out to Mr. Edwards. He actually saved my life. And he's like, so what we have here is that you and we would lose credit in a class. Like if you had 10 absences in a semester long class, 20 absences in a year.
Yeah.
5
Yeah,
absences in a gym because it was only every other day, and each semester was a new gym. Like if you lose credit in gym, like damn.
Yeah, you're a menace.
So I lost credit, but then I lost like my student, like being a full-time student, right? So like you're now a part-time student. Like the state no longer recognizes you as a full-time student. So he called me out. He's like, we could work a few things out. And I'm just gonna summarize the story real quick. He had a secretary that was going out on maternity leave. So he's like, that teacher doesn't like you. You don't like that teacher. So you're gonna stay in here. No more lunch, no more study hall. Because I was smart. I was good. I was terrible at school, good at gaming the system. I'd put my lunches next to the study halls. No one checks your attendance in study halls. So I would just peace for like half the day.
Right.
So did you guys have an open campus? You could like, where I went to school, you could leave for lunch. You know what I'm saying? Like you could leave. I didn't have to go to the lunchroom.
I don't believe so. But I can't stand on that.
I'm out, right? Like third period or whatever, come back like 8th period. That's the last
If
period.
you leave the campus of high school, right, you're a fucking menace. You're
I was
bad.
out.
You're a bad egg.
I was
right,
out.
Billy?
Oh yeah.
So I had to
I was
sit.
bad, but leaving.
I had to, bro, I would take my books on the first day of school, open my lock. You know that I had to get security to open my lock because I forgot the combination to it.
I still have my freshman locker and know it and could walk into that school.
And open it right up.
Yes. Because they
That's an
failed me 9th grade, then gave me a new 9th grade locker, but didn't take the first one away.
So you
I was
two?
like, 2 lockers on 2 floors?
Bet.
This is crazy.
So I had to be one of his secretaries for like half a semester to get credit, and he gave me the credit so I could graduate.
Yeah, you're a Nancy boy.
But I had to I the detention notes for my friends because it's grade level.
Yeah.
So like I would see like I'd be like, yo, just grab all the ones from my friends, like all the bad notes, and then hit them after like, yo, man, burn this. You know what I mean? Like this was supposed to go home. I would fold it, and it's supposed to go in the outgoing mail. I would pocket them shits for like people that I was, friends with.
What was this gentleman's name that made you his secretary?
Mr. Edwards. Shout out to
Billy.
Mr. E.
Now, Billy, do you think Long had to do a little waka waka waka?
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Edwards?
Under the desk, yeah.
Not
Miss Long was getting action.
That's what I'm saying, man.
It was yeah.
Look, we're from a dark time, man.
You
know what I'm saying,
two
Billy?
are dark. That's I didn't expect that to go that way.
Yeah. That caught you a little bit.
Caught me a little bit.
Yeah. So
in my endless summer, I got a call from your then manager, the Wolf. Yeah,
you did, but it was before that though. We met it was cold as shit, so you had to be prepped for all this.
I don't recall if we met and I had the idea that I was going to go on tour or not. But I think we just met because I came home and was like with McGruff one night, and we just met.
I was like, I gotta suss this fucker out.
You were sussing. Maybe you were sussing me out. Like bring them.
Yeah, I was like,
I didn't know.
Let me see how much. You know what I'm saying? If I could be around this motherfucker for a couple months.
We had a fun night that night.
Yeah.
How did it end, Vinny?
I may have been throwing up.
It's probably
so. How did this work? So
I've
at the end of it, through your vomit, you guys just shook on it, like, all right, kid, I'll see you on Monday at the tour bus.
I'll see you in a few months.
Kind of.
He was home on holiday. It was the winter break at Penn State.
Summer, then summer was when it became official, and I was talking to Vinny's manager and logistics and all that stuff, and it was like, becoming real. And I just remember being like, all right, I'm about to get in like a tour van with a bunch of people I don't know.
How'd you explain that to your folks? I mean, I know this was after your senior year of college, right?
I mean, it was.
So it's not really, you don't really have to.
Well, me and my now business partner, it was an opportunity for us. The reason I was going on tour was to film a documentary. So it was like a dope actual like engagement right out of college as a film major. I'm going to, film on the Rock the Bells tour, like behind the scenes, and that was the goal of it. We're gonna make a documentary, so it was.
Yeah, we didn't know what it was gonna be either. We're like, well, are we gonna tell the whole story of this group and from the beginning, or are we just gonna document this tour?
Mm-hmm.
And then these guys started going like, well, what if we go back and forth?
Right.
What if there's two narratives? And it's like,
so Bill, you wrote all the interviews, you wrote all the.
Yeah, well, I'd be like talking to Jan and like sending footage back. My business partner JC would be, and Jan were editing stuff that I was sending back to them. Like while
how are you sending that back in 2007? Like
I think I was actually mailing. Hard
I was going to say you
like,
were mailing
where we would
mailing
stop somewhere. I would like mail a hard drive back.
Yeah, I don't even remember that.
But I remember saying,
like that's got to be dicey too, though, right?
Like all of it was.
I'm putting this in the mail.
Yeah, all of it was. I don't think they had like the file transfer like Dropbox back then. But I just remember being like, listen, I'm not like you guys. I'm like the quintessential white guy. Like
very white.
I was like, I'm not gonna pretend. I'm not gonna go on this tour and pretend that I'm somebody I'm not. I'm into hip hop. I'm into this and that. Like,
but that's the other thing that makes him lovable, B. You know what I mean? He didn't come out with me that night. Like, yo, son, word to mother, son. Like, so I was like, oh, this kid's not a tryhard. This is gonna be lit because he didn't try to do anything but be him.
Right.
And I was like, oh, we're in there, bro. Like,
Brandon, I remember being like, should I or should I not bring my Heelys? I'm like, do I bring these?
Do you know what Heelys
adult
are, Brandon?
Heelys? You remember Heelys? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I'm hip to Heelys.
I packed my Heelys and I was like, I'm gonna have to get to know these guys before I, really bust these out. But literally, like day 2, I busted him out in the lobby of the hotel and heeled through the lobby, and I think that's what sealed the deal for Vinny.
It's true. It's all true. It's all true. And within hours of that, I was threatening the life of a major artist on the Rock the Bells tour.
Mm-hmm.
That story I've heard, and that
it was like a windstorm for 21-year-old Billy, who was just being.
So we're at catering, and there's this disabled kid and the kid who helps him out with him. You know what I'm saying? So like clearly someone at one of the artists or Chang or someone at Rock the Bells were like, yo, take care of these kids. You know, a nice thing to do. And the kid's from Connecticut, B. I think I mentioned it to you before.
I think so.
Yeah. He was like, so he's like, yo, and we like kind of invited them to our table, and they were rolling a L, and it was me, Billy, and Crip. And they were rolling a L with Method Man. And this person comes over and says what's up to Meth and no-sells everyone else at the table. I'm like, yo, pussy. You don't know how to fucking say hello to other people? Who the fuck? And Billy's like, bro, this is his first day on the job. Not the first day he met me, but first day on the job.
It was the first show. It was New York.
So
I think
that's how. No, it was the Tweeter Center outside of Mass,
right?
But not Boston. You know, people just go Massachusetts, Boston, but there's just like New York and PA. There's places out there.
Sure.
So Billy's like, yo, this guy's fucking crazy. He's threatening like a star rapper. And Crip is in his mode that he's been in before, which is like, get Vinny not to physically assault it. Whatever he does, but don't allow this to get physical. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get physical.
Well, let me just say this about a tour like that again was my first of many. What ended up being many. That one was peculiar because, you know, you're going on stage in like the early afternoon sometimes. So like you're getting there in the morning for sound check and, you know.
Bro, when we talk
we're
about
like
that
cracking
bottles
at 11 a.m.
Bro, when we talk about that show amongst ourselves, I still get like flashbacks of you guys being like, yo, it's 11 a.m. You ready? And I'm like, what?
Right.
Ready for what?
There were a couple shows where I think you went on pre-noon. Like,
yeah. But me and Crip started doing a joke. We were like, put your bagels up, or like thinking of
breakfast stuff.
Put your eggs up,
your OJ.
Put them eggs up, put them OJ. Like, because we're like, this makes no sense in theory to be doing this, but it's like, all right, it's an all-day festival, just like Woodstock is. You hear, oh, this guy played at 8 a.m., this guy played at 4 a.m. It just is what it is. You know what I mean? Same with the thing. The Insane Clown Posse guys do. That thing just is 24/7, bro. There is no end and no beginning. You know what I mean? This wasn't 24/7, but it was like 12 to 12, which is pretty
it was an all-day affair.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So navigating that as an artist was crazy in and of itself. But Billy was thrown to the wolves as far as our friendship. And I think it's like you could easily start a tour and end a tour by being like, peace, never talking to you again. You know what I'm saying? Like there's been tours that have certainly that have ended where I've wanted to do that with people. Maybe I was stuck with them, so I didn't. But definitely like, yo, I don't want to see this person anymore. You know what I mean? And Billy wasn't that on that tour. So I guess that to anyone that's listening, they should be caught up on
everybody
on YouTube dunces and your role in well, not your role, your meaning to my life and your positions in my life business wise and creatively, and then on this show. I think we did a pretty good job, right? Or no? Did we miss anything to get to people to know whose voices they will be hearing moving forward? Because it's just going to get darker and darker.
It'll just get the expanse will.
If you guys think this is light and lighthearted, it is, but it's going to go to a dark place. It's my guess. Well, look, life isn't all sunshine and roses.
Not all peaches and cream.
Right.
Which I guess.
Would you guys agree with that or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess with that, we were just talking about touring. I think a hot topic.
Yeah, and are you, and you have proclaimed that you are retired from touring.
Proclaimed as
nobody wants to like
talk about it.
Well, take any like they're like proclaimed. Vinny will be back.
I mean, it's certainly the word, that I'll be back. I mean, look, one thing that hasn't been discussed is the touring past me 3 years ago, making a video talking about it. And it's like, what I said in that video, okay, not 1, not 2, not 3, 0% has changed.
Okay.
My view, and don't forget that I said in there, because something came up recently, Billy, that you put in front of me. But in that video, I was like, yo, will I pull up for a festival?
Right.
Will I do a one-off? I'm not saying yes, or I'm not saying it's in my plans. I'm saying that I'm not, saying that's out of the question.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When I made that video, it was like, I don't know about that, because those European festival runs were always fun, as tiresome as they are. Is because you got to go country to country to country in days. You know what I'm saying? Which is like any other tour. But when you start involving planes, man, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Each day, crazy, bro. You're on fumes. You don't know where you're at. You forget what language they're speaking in the country you're in. Because guys, if you don't know out there, it's like the way you move in the States, that's how you move in countries over there.
Do you remember our plane ride from Madrid? I forget where we were going, but I think it was like a 6 a.m. flight, and we didn't sleep.
Oh, I remember.
And it was first come, first served with the seating.
It was me, you, and Crip who pulled the all-nighter. It was we were going to Madrid.
I think we were
in Madrid. Then we were going from Madrid to Barcelona.
Correct.
How long everyone was that
flight? It was quick, but everyone was going to a footy game.
Yeah.
So when we landed, the whole plane popped because they were like.
They played the theme song over the radio.
They played like it was like Madrid fans going
to a football game,
and everyone was mad excited, and we were miserable.
We were like I was like a mutant. No, oh, what a remember? And then they picked us up in a van. It was like a chicken coop on wheels. You remember that?
I think they had we were like, dude, you guys got to send another car. Like, we can't all fit in this thing.
Yo, there were like no seat. Like there was like no.
So
seats,
are you giving reasons why this is just I don't want to do this anymore?
No, I think that just came natural. Well, no, because I'll tell you. I'll explain one thing. There are also like it's a corny saying. It might not be corny, but it's certainly, you could say it's played out. But in boxing a lot, someone will say about someone else, yo, there's levels. There's levels to this. It's like there was still a bit of the grind at that point. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely reached the level where I am treated like a king. There is no more bad situation.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not getting picked up by a rickshaw anymore.
No, there's no. It's not. I'm not in. There's not a rickshaw and a guy pulling me to the next.
I was on the rickshaw tours. And
he was. But if you go, yo, what's the worst shit you did? Like Billy was there for them, because there was a tour, Brendan, where we were like, yo, all those secondary and third tier markets. Let's do them. And I'm like, this is the worst idea I ever heard in my life.
Well, the idea is to try to see if there's fans there.
If
just
there's
to
something
know,
there,
like, do you add that to the next time?
Yeah.
Or
are you opening a market?
By. Yeah, we're
You're saying, is this in America or is this?
Yeah, sorry, I jumped.
So in other words, you go to the flyover states.
Yeah, or
you're
even
driving
if they're not
through
flyover, they're let's call it drive.
Well, I mean, that's what they're called. They're called the flyover
states.
It's so insulting, by the way, for those folks that live.
It is.
States.
It is.
Oh, you live in Oklahoma? Yeah, fly over that fucking.
They live there for a reason. They like being a flyover state.
Yeah. As a late great uncle of mine said, hey, if you don't live near a body of an ocean, you're a real jerk off.
I kind of feel like that too.
So
I told you that.
I'll be honest. I never met that many people to prove them wrong. To where I
Beach
go,
body
"Whoa, he was
I
off."
need to see water.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
facts.
I don't know why. I think it's maybe like, oh, if I got to get out of here, you know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna go that way.
You're gonna swim.
Motherfucker, I'll fashion a boat. I'll commandeer a boat. All right.
Commandeer is
fashion.
very. Commandeer is very
Not fashion.
because he's like a pirate. He's like a Somali pirate, Billy.
Fucking castaway over here.
Yeah, that fool that pulls the blick on Tom Hanks.
Yeah, it's
does
funny.
he
You
say?
look like Castaway.
Who, Billy or me?
No, Billy does. Look at him.
fire.
Billy looks like Wilson.
Yes, made fire.
Billy looks like Wilson. Not
Yeah,
Castaway.
Billy looks like he fell out of the FedEx plane.
Wilson.
Yeah, what tour was that, Bill? When you fell out of the FedEx plane?
Oh,
So what was your last tour? I went to a date.
You
on
were
that
in Brooklyn, New York,
Correct.
with your lovely wife.
Sure.
At Brooklyn,
tour.
and
Her hometown.
that venue was lit.
It
Great
was.
people. We had that little outdoor area, B. Even though it was cold, that shit was lit.
Dope.
That
That
shit
was
was
dope.
dope. Billy, you weren't there, right?
no, remember I was gonna be in the
Well, you
Philly
had two
shows,
little babies at the time.
Yeah.
two little babies, and I ended up getting COVID, so I didn't want
Yes.
to come like backstage.
You had
Yes.
the most COVID.
Yeah.
I've had
he had
COVID
COVID.
like more than anyone I think
You-
on the
Yeah.
planet.
If like you.
I am.
No,
COVID
the
at
only
this
one
point.
that's
Say-
hanging with you is Braun. Braun's like, give me it.
Right.
Give me
I
it.
love it.
Braun was like actively clubbing and would like, I
Billy
need
gets
more
COVID like someone else plays horse. You know what I mean?
He
It's like
does.
I got C O
He does.
V
He does.
I D.
Yeah, sometimes
Dash
he wouldn't get all the
19.
way to horse before getting beat.
Right. That's what I'm
Brendo.
saying.
It wouldn't get. He would get C and O.
He's like, I
and
got
a
C.
V. Yeah, and then he'd
Yeah.
get beat. But yeah, so that look, man, you have these contentious relationships in this business with the people that are like, yeah, go play Punxsutawney. You're like, yeah, so you don't got no fucking problem putting me in Punxsutawney
Right.
because when it's just Phil, the fucking Badger or whatever he is, what is he?
Punxsutawney Phil.
Yeah,
The
what is
Badger.
what is-
Groundhog.
when it's fucking
It's
groundhog.
Badger Day.
It's like Punxsutawney Phil, his wife,
Imagine if it was a badger. They pulled things like,
yeah, and start attacking
Fucking
people's
bite your
faces.
face
I
off.
think Punxsutawney should attack.
well,
You know
that's
how
how it would be.
people-
Like if he bites your face off, it's
It's
6
the
more weeks of
it's
winter.
6 more weeks of winter. If he doesn't rip your face
Yeah.
from its,
Brendan,
this is what I think.
mark this note down. My story about eating mushrooms at Punxsutawney, because that's a good one.
All right. All
Please,
right, look
please
forward to
do.
that.
Write that down, Billy. Write that down, Brendan. Write that down. No, you B. It's like I'm not sure what you could equate it to in what you've done and what you went to school for, but like people are real fucking eager to pull that trigger on you when they're not the one. Like, okay, I know people, and both of you guys know some of these people. Okay, this isn't speaking ill of them. It's actually an amazing trait. No, give me all the shows. Are they paying what I want? Cool, I'll do it.
Right.
Meaning, yo, if there's 20 people there, but they get the bag, they're in. I don't care.
Right.
I have found, and this goes back to childhood. You know when you be scared to read in front of the class and some people
Yeah.
aren't? Bro, my the way I assess failure is through a weird lens. And I'm like, yo, my whole career means nothing because there's 50 people in Louisville. Whereas
Right.
B would be like, Billy would be like, my guy, like no one in this scene that makes hardcore hip hop has it popping here. And I'm like, don't care, I'm a failure.
Right.
I'm over. I'm done. My life is ruined. And then you only to go into 2,000 people in Boulder, Colorado or something. And they go, see? And I go, no, it doesn't matter. I just lucked out this time. There is
But
no
it's also
good.
hard to perform in front of a small crowd. It's like a weird thing.
But we know people who give it all they got. And I
Right.
respect the shit out of that. And
Yeah.
but they continue to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to make in their head, they have a number and it's X. Does that person in Sioux City?
I mean, I've been at shows as a crowd member when no one shows up, or it's poorly promoted, or it's at a weird venue like
I'm going to show you why I'm the biggest hypocrite alive. The biggest hypocrite ever. I saw Tool when they put out Opiate, and no one
Okay.
knew who they were. That was the EP
Mm.
before they blew. No Diddy. There's a VHS recording of it on YouTube. It's Tool at JC Dobbs. That's the name of the venue on South Street, Brandon. You passed it 8 million times.
Right.
As a matter of fact, they went out of business for 100 million years, and I think it's Dobbs again.
Oh, cool.
1992.
Yes, I'm
pretty
there.
Sure I have it. Yep. Tool
Bro.
Live Philadelphia.
Bro, Chris Novoselic was handing my man Vesti merch money because he thought he was part of like the Nirvana crew, like post Bleach, but pre.
Yeah.
Never mind. Same
Okay.
place. So how can I have these memories to tell you guys and go, this is the illest thing I ever saw? Maynard being he's a lunatic, Brandon.
Yeah, of course.
He gave it all he got in
And-
Dobbs for like 20 people.
Wow.
And I look at that as a fond memory. Now, some kid saw me in Kentucky for 75 kids and says, I saw that. And I was like, Billy, I'm not going out there. The backstage was the manager's office. And I was like, Billy, I'm not going out there, bro, but I don't want the money. See, that's the difference with me.
Yeah.
I never wanted to get over. And I was never trying to, I was like, give how many people is there? 100? Give them their $30 back. I don't want to do this. That's how mortified I feel.
Right.
I feel like I have failed myself. I feel like I have failed the culture. Yo, I haven't done enough to pack this place out.
So is that part of why you don't want to tour anymore?
No,
or-
because that never happened again. Because the more successful we got, that would be like, what year would that have been? We were on, remember I was like, yo, I got Billy girl drink drunk because we were off on a holiday.
Easter.
It was
Easter.
I was like, yo, you know what's going to be open? The Chino spot. We were in, what city was it? It was a major city, but major city that we don't consider a major city, Brandon.
like St. Louis or something?
Like
can't
it might
remember.
have been St. Louis or Kansas City, Missouri. And I was like, yo, you know what's Universal that's going to be open? The Chino spot. And I was telling the Chino guy, just keep bringing, I wasn't ordering drinks by drink, Brendan. I was ordering them by color.
Yeah.
I was like, 10 more blue, China man.
Blue Wave.
Blue. And Brendan's mortified. Yo, and then I was like, yo, let's buy Goose and let's go to a movie. So I was making mixed drinks in the aisle while we were watching Hot Tub Time Machine.
Hot Tub Time Machine. I'll never forget that.
So
It's the
we can
best
look
movie
up
ever.
Hot Tub Time Machine.
2010.
And say whatever year that was this tour. So that would have been the last time, Brendan, I was like, came home and had to sit down like, yo, I'm not happy with the way these shows went in terms of
2010.
meaning the market. So 16 years ago. It was spring, which we're coming up on in a couple months, correct, guys?
Mhm.
We were on, so
Yeah.
Easter.
That's the season that follows winter.
April. It would have been
Spring.
April, yeah.
Thanks, asshole, you fucking dickhead. I'm just trying to fucking explain to people that are listening.
Coming up on a couple of months.
You fucking dickhead. And I was like, yeah, like it's funny you brought up St. Louis. Like that shit was whack.
Mhm.
When we were in Louisville, was that where they were like, yo, if you cross the bridge, you're in Cincinnati? Was that it, Billy?
Yes.
Yeah, Kentucky and Cincinnati, Ohio, right next to each other.
So
yeah.
B,
You
we
fly
went
into
into
Kentucky when you go to Cincinnati.
Right. We went into Cincinnati on a night that people consider a lit night. I know we're too old for lit, but they were like, no, it's like a Thursday night in a
Yeah, it
college
was a
town.
Thursday night.
And I looked at Billy and was like, this shit is whack / because the show was the next night.
So
I'm like,
isn't Cincinnati supposed to be a fun town?
yeah,
Like,
that's why I'm telling you this. And that's why I'm saying it
We
on
were
air.
like, I remember us being like, what the hell? It's
I was
Thursday
like, Billy,
night.
all right, okay, maybe we like stumbled upon a whack bar.
right.
So we like did the quote unquote bar hop / what do you call it when you walk? I know bar hop
Bar
is
crawl.
called one thing, but we did a bar crawl and like each was worse than the
Mhm.
next. And I was like, yo, it's dead in here, but this girl's hot. Let's park here. At least I don't gotta look at a facha brute.
Right.
If there's nothing popping, and 5 have proven that it's not popping, and Thursday night, as you know, Brandon, is huge college night because no one cares about their Friday and classes.
Mhm.
It's basically for younger people when the weekend starts. Not even college, just even
In
Philly
general, you
is
can get
a
a
college
good, you
town.
can get good Thursday nights out. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Mhm.
And places like Philly and New York, take away that we have major universities here, they're popping on Thursdays, bro. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? When it's popping. I'm in the studio. If I go out, we used to go out. I used to record and hurry through it so we could get out. And me and Frizz could do our Thursday joints and meet everyone and go out, meet the girls out and go to the Walnut Room and do all this. You know what I mean? That's how popping it is in Philly, and it still is from what I hear. I'm just not in that life no more. You know what I'm saying? So Billy was on that tour, and yo, if you want to add insult to injury to someone who's like hovering on suicidal, add the shit being whack, and you're bunking with someone. I know Billy like made me happy one night because he did karaoke. Like him and Parker were dressed as like elves on St. Patrick's Day.
I'm pretty sure we were in Louisville. But,
and we went upstairs.
There was like, there was an upstairs, and I did 2 Princes by the Spin Doctors.
He did, and he killed it. And Billy may or may not have walked
I
in
did it
on
up.
something the next morning. And Brenda, I don't know if this is going to make sense, so you guys have to clear this / clean this up for the listeners if what I say doesn't make sense. If you're outside and the sun is shining and the doors open into a dark room, you sometimes can't see anything.
Can't see in the room.
Black.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, Billy may or may not have opened the door and started a conversation with me while
you were entertaining.
Oh, he was entertaining, all right. I can't get the image is burned.
And I'm going, what the fuck are you doing? And he keeps talking.
I couldn't. I didn't know what to do.
And
So I just know so that it was even happening.
Yo, bus call is at blank. I'm like, get the fuck. I'm having a headache.
I can't believe you told that story.
This is
you can't believe what?
You told that story.
I mean, look, man, it's really more illmatic, but
wow. Yeah, I mean,
there's only
so
so far.
None of this sounds like touring is bad. This all sounds like touring's good. Touring is fun.
What is the it's touring's like having fucking good memories of Vietnam.
Right.
I was with the guys. Yeah, you're leaving out the part where the fucking Viet Cong and you were in the bush. And
right. Bamboo shoots. You're leaving out the bamboo shoots.
I mean, God forbid, a really close friend of Jan, my manager and business partner, for those who don't know, and someone I know and respect, Mr. Corcoran, was hit in Nam while his friends were taking him to safety. They got killed.
Oof. So,
like, I am not comparatively saying that. That's what I'm being clear.
I think most people understand that. But Billy definitely caught some shrapnel, you're saying, when he opened the door?
Yeah, he got clipped by the VC. It might have been a Timberland in this case, or it might have been a Spizike. Right, B?
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
Yeah.
My nephew wears those.
So, I like how we're just ignoring the fact that this is on video. So,
well, you got to go to the YouTube to see what I just acted out.
So this is how I view touring, and I can say with zero hesitation, some of the best times of my life ever are associated with touring, but it's when the mind can separate those moments with the moments that led up to it, where I'm on the brink of some sort of breakdown.
Right.
With that, I don't know, a nervous breakdown. I guess it was close to there. A mix of like, Bernie Mac does a good thing. You know, when you get hit so hard as a kid, you couldn't cry. You were stuck on wanting to cry, but that's what would come out on a tour at the edge of my bed after a shower. Like when you put your boxes and your wife beater and your tee on, and you're getting ready, but you're not there yet. Like in that stage of just being stuck there, like I got to get out of this. I got to
Right.
go home. But there is no going. There's get to this. Yo, I'm in Oslo. There
Right.
is no even, there is no, Brendan, there's not even a, yo, I've decided I'm leaving and that fixes you. Even if I did, when am I getting the flight and when will I be home? It feels like forever. If I decide it's 6 p.m. on a Friday night in Oslo, I'm getting home. What's the earliest I'm getting home? In 2 days? That doesn't cure it. So at
Right.
that point, you just trick yourself going, well, if I'm not going to be home in 2 days, I might as well just go on to the next place in Norway
Right.
for the next 2 days. And then I have to fly. I have to take a flight or a long ferry to get to Finland because there's the water separates it, you know, and there's no, you're losing another hour because you're going backwards.
And there's never while that's happening, like, holy shit, I'm doing this for real. Like
While it's happening?
Yeah, while it's happening.
No. On stage, when 1,000 people who don't speak, when 1,500, 2,000 people are singing words that of language that's their second or third language. Is that what you mean? Or while I'm like in
Well,
the
I mean-
van or we're getting some food or we're backstage?
Sometimes when I'm at work in the different phases of my career, I've had different phases in my careers. Sometimes I say to myself, like, this is, I can kind of see outside of myself and look at myself and go, holy shit, I'm doing this. I mean, and I can only imagine if how I'd feel about myself once in a while if I was doing what you did and what you do. You know, that based off your name, your creativity, your mind, and your words, essentially, you're now in Oslo, taking a ferry to Finland. That brought you there. I think that's a pretty incredible and amazing thing.
I do
And-
too.
Right.
And I owe it to hip hop. And it took me there.
I think you owe it to
And-
yourself.
And it's when you're rapping in front of the mirror to Cool C Records and you're turning back, I gotta have it. And you're going, when I get money from rapping, I'm gonna wear the sneakers that Steady B's wearing, but the chain that Cool C's wearing, and that Sergio Tacchini sweatshirt that LG's wearing, and all of that. And I did it. But if you're miserable when you can't be present.
Right.
Me. I'm saying you.
Yeah, no.
Let me clear that up. No.
Yeah.
Let me clear that up because R.A., the Rugged Man, for people, I'm assuming people know who that is if they're listening to us,
Right.
lives in the moment and does all the things you're asking me. He would be like, yes. While I'm miserable, he'll be like, Pazzo, like, look where this took you. He says all, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's
Yeah.
great with that. And I'm like, no, bro, you're not wrong. I just am feeling like I want to die. It's not like the sentiment is wrong. It's like, how do you remove this part of your brain?
I think people spend a lifetime trying to figure that out. And I think there's specialists that try to figure that out for other people. And I think that there's medications made for people to try to help them along the way with that. And I think that people struggle with that in everyday life. Being present, that's a great way to put it. It's very difficult to be for a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, if
a lot of people very close in my life that it's difficult for them to be present. And
I am very rarely present, you know, very rarely. It's sad. There's a sadness about it, which again sort of perpetuates the cycle because you know,
Yeah.
it turns into the next thing. It makes the next thing that.
I
And
mean,
then you go-
I'm pretty good at slowing it down and saying to myself, stop, look around. I have to because my mind is always racing. So it's an exercise I actually do with myself at least 3 or 4 times a day where I just take a break. It could be for 3 seconds, but that break helps me. And I tell myself, all right, this is happening. This is the thing that's happening right now. And I don't know. I started to do that, you know, after doing one thing, you know, your entire adult life, which is what I did. And then I got laid off, you know, at NBC. And right now it's the Olympic time, right? So you knew me then.
I did
So,
24/7 coverage
24/7 coverage
for the
We were
world.
18-hour shifts. There, I had to oftentimes, like if I had to like go step out to go to the bathroom and get a drink, or you know what I mean, go take a beat. Like this is you know, you're walking down the hallway and like Scarlett Johansson walks past you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or like we talked about it before, like Jimmy Fallon, you go, I'm here, you know, I'm doing this thing. So yeah, I think it's pretty incredible. All the stories you tell are amazing to me because you did it on your own, you know, and you're up there in how does that translate? Like once you're on stage, what is it now? Does all those feelings go away? Like, was that a thing from when you were a kid till now that you were able to like do let's say like an elementary school talent show, or like remember like if you had to do a like debate team or you know, anything like that, like if you were just doing like a skit in front of the class, were you able to do those things as well?
Yeah, I wasn't crippled by it, you know.
Right.
I think I was like the average kid, like, fuck, this is gonna be like corny, or I'm gonna be like embarrassed, you know.
Okay.
But I don't think it was like more that sort of a conversation of almost stage fright type shit. Would you say? Or
Well,
no?
I mean, so there are.
Or do you mean
people
like
that-
the anxiety of
just
of
the anxiety?
situation?
Like some people just can't do like a. I took a public speaking class in 11th grade, in 1996, and it helped me to really like dial back your cues and your ticks. Like I used to have this tick, like where I'd go like this, like I kind of cover like I'm doing right now. Like I would talk and kind of cover my mouth, you know, like I would get nervous and touch my face.
Yeah, of
And
course.
I remember the teacher for the class was like, yeah, don't do that. Find a place for your hands. You know what I mean? Like be at the podium or whatever. Remember Clinton? You know, I did not have sex.
Oh
with
yeah,
Lloyd."
yeah.
That was obviously to like
Yeah, it's
fight a tick.
Obama
you know,
has
like
a similar one.
right, like, and it would be to fight whatever, like, you know.
Yeah.
So like for those things, I took those classes, and then when I was in college, and like Billy, I was a video production major. Billy, you were a film studies major, right?
Correct.
Yeah, we didn't have film, so I was a video production major. So we had to like act out in our own skits, you know, do shit like that for.
Yeah, that's tough.
for video.
At that time, I don't know, man. I might have packed that up.
When you were like 18, 19, you couldn't have done. When did you play
Maybe
your
a
first
little-
show?
Maybe a little bit.
Like professional, you felt like professional show.
Professionals that we were in
Rap
the
music.
hood in North Philly at a place called Sylvie's, and they were about to pack us up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, professional, man. So Pablo's band, they were like a post-hardcore band. You know,
Okay.
remember bands like Quicksand?
Of course.
Like that kind of stuff,
Yeah.
guys, if you're not familiar, like post-hardcore. And I was like, the Roots existed, but they didn't have a record deal. And Rage Against the Machine had a record deal, but they weren't out yet. And it was the buzz was Zach from Inside Out is starting this band that he's gonna rap. But
He's
it
gonna-
wasn't no Zach De La Roca, you know, but people
Yeah.
knew him from the hardcore scene. And people might be listening that don't know that. Zach De La Roca from Rage Against the Machine is a hardcore kid from the hardcore
Absolutely,
scene.
yeah.
They had a 4-song EP on Revelation Records in 1990. They were called Inside Out, and it's great. It's heavy as fuck. So I was like, oh, that's ill, but I didn't know what they were sonically. You know what I mean? I was like, oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's cool. And the Roots were doing basically like, yo, we're gonna play instead of sample, you know? And
yeah.
they were the Square Roots, and Scott Storch
Square
was in the
Roots.
group,
Yeah.
and it was Malik and Tariq and Amir, and like I knew those guys, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
But so I was like, yo, I'll just give you guys songs that I like that maybe my mom played or something. So like the first thing we did, my man Keston was just playing the guitar line of doon 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 doon.
Lean on me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just that. And then my man, you know, and we had we didn't even have a 2-track or a 4-track. We had a mic plugged into a thing, and it was called Under the Influence. And it was called UTI. And we're only running with the Paisan kids there. And we're like, yo, it's just gonna be Italian kids. Some real Ginzo shit.
Okay.
Right? that can get into the story where I peer pressured a kid into drinking St. Ides because I was like, yo, they do it in juice. And he
Right.
like drank it, and then that led to him becoming a drug addict. So I still
It's a little pat yourself on the back for
Is
that.
that my fault?
Yeah.
Is it my
Sure.
fault, Billy? I remember being like, yo, it's not hip hop unless you like drink this 40.
There's a photo of that online too.
So of what?
You smashing 40s on your head.
Oh no,
please.
that's much later. No, so they got a gig. It was like 5 or 6 hardcore bands at like it wasn't a VFW, but it was like a it was
Right.
like a church version of a VFW.
Where all those things were.
Yeah, like at a non-denominational church thing for $5, you know?
Yep.
But it had a real stage because they must have done some shit in there.
Sure.
And during their set, I did like 3 of my rap songs during that. And I was 13 or 14.
And these were they like was it like 16? Or what like did you know composition like 1 2 3 4 2 2, or is it like, yo, I'm just gonna spit a paragraph of
Me
shit
and
I wrote?
Stoop at that time, because of music measured,
Right.
and because it's a rap thing to say 16 bars. Those measures, it's 8.
It's 8, yeah.
So way later, bro, like we had real albums out. Stoop and I were still saying 8s to each other.
Right.
Because we would say it to like rappers and they would be like, what's an 8? You want me to write half a verse? And we're like, no, measures.
Measures, yeah. 1
So-
2 3 4 2 2.
So I
3,
knew like
4.
8 measures.
Okay.
But no, there wasn't song structure because I
No.
was like rap and then be like, oh, I only have like 6 raps that exist.
Right.
Like, how could I even have a potential? You know what I mean? There
Yeah.
was like no songwriting involved because
Did you actually write it down, or was it like stuff you said a million times in your head? Like the first
no stuff. I think like my first 5, 6 rhymes were all in my head.
in your head, right?
And then it became a notebook. And it stayed a notebook for a really long time. And I don't do the thing that rappers do with the phone. You ever see a rapper in a mic booth?
You
They're
do a
on their
legal
phone.
pad, right?
I can't see it. So I still have a rhyme book, but I just stick in printed out rhymes because my handwriting is like graffiti. So sometimes I go, what does that say?
You don't know what you
I don't know what I
yourself
wrote.
writing.
So I started writing it like you would write a novel. Like, and I print out so it's like real clear, you know?
Okay. You type it.
Yeah, and then I put it on the we have the thing that when a violinist is like reading music,
An easel.
you know those
Yeah.
easels?
Mhm.
I have one of them in the mic booth and I sit the rhyme on
Like
there
the black
because
one,
I'm so
the
blind.
black metal one.
It's a black metal one with a little piece of a rug in front of it so the metal doesn't bounce.
I was just in there with Vinnie
He was
last
just
week.
yeah. I was like, get out of here, Billy.
You know,
This mess-
I use those because I played cello, right?
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
I was in the orchestra.
You're gonna play cello on the new solo LP.
You actually did. This is not a joke.
Yo, 1,000%. So one of
Oh
the
my
and not to
God.
make this about me because we're in a deep conversation
Oh.
with Vinny.
Not to make this about me, but
Sure.
an
Guys,
accomplished
his
celloist
alias-
over here.
No,
Brendan
not
Long's
accomplished.
alias is short story long.
Short story long.
Buckle
My
up,
parent-
guys.
I wanted to I'm an impatient person. Always have been. So you could
Oh.
play in the orchestra first before you could play in the band. Before you could play like a brass or a woodwind.
Yeah, like a jerk off.
So I So I wanted to play an instrument. And I picked I don't know why. I
Kind of
picked the cello.
fucking dunce pick something fucking hard, man.
And I was, cello is hard, B. It's the big one. So anyway, I had to drag that thing to and from, but my parents are the type of parents like, no, you can't quit. Like, because I wanted to switch to like trumpet, right? I thought trumpet was like a cool instrument.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me switch to trumpet. And now I regret not sticking with, like in 8th grade, like you didn't have to do an instrument in high school.
Yeah.
So like in elementary and junior high, you had to do an instrument. So in 8th grade, I gave it back forever. You rented it.
So many people from our generation made that mistake at that turning point in your life.
Yeah.
Like Billy, what language like would you have taken or were you
I
when and you
was-
just tapped out?
I was just good at passing classes, so I
Yeah,
like
but you
don't
know what I mean?
remember
Like,
anything.
imagine if you were like, no, I
Good
paid
at
fucking
passing
real
gases.
attention.
I think I did like 4 years total of Spanish, and I can't speak a lick.
But you get what I'm saying? Imagine if we paid like crazy attention. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah,
ended up
now-
learning the Spanish that I do know through Puerto Rican friends who butcher Spanish anyway.
Right.
But imagine if any of us paid attention for any of that. We were just like, you know what I'm saying? Like insanely fluent in a few languages. It's like every person that is, you're like, yo, you have a 1 foot up on everyone. One language. Then there's trilingual
Trilingual.
people, which is crazy, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was, I didn't know how to put songs together. And then it was like the timing is fucking crazy that when I was like, I don't know how far this could go. Should we make this music heavier as like Rage Machine did come out and go
Mhm.
like that route? Because, you know, these guys
Yeah.
are from that scene. Or should we be like the Roots? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we're both from the fucking same city. So I'm just doing a competitive group. But Tariq is one of the greatest rappers that ever lived. And I'm 14. Like what should I do? And I meet Stoop. And I was like, oh, this is it. This guy knows how to make beats. We were using the sampler from the mixer.
Mhm.
We didn't even have a beat machine, but he was so ill with it, he figured out how to extend the sampling time. And I was like, okay, like then we're off to the races, you know. But that's
Right.
a whole podcast in and of its own.
Yeah.
But yeah, like as far as I was a fish to water with performing on stage. Does that that probably comes from like punk and hardcore and who I watched being like, yo, Run DMC was showman. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo,
Yeah.
we have to rock. We have to, you know,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that standing in one place thing that you see that's very prevalent now with people, whether it's our scene or commercial, where it's just like mad boring to watch rappers. And like, I'm not going to bury a whole culture, but I am. It's like most people are terrible live. Hip
It's
hop.
I've been to shows with big name. I the gamut of shows I've gone to in terms of like most mainstream person you could think of, and then the least known person you could think of. Yeah, and on both sides of that coin, there can be really turd performances, and then some amazing performances.
I hate
Billy
when
will
there's
tell
like
you-
20 people on stage.
Well,
That
that's
always
the
irks
rap
me.
thing. Fuck 20, 100,
Yo,
you know,
man.
50. There's more
It's-
on the stage than there is in the crowd.
In the crowd, yeah.
But Billy could tell you, or depending how far back it was that you were in New Haven, like I never didn't go full force. As heavy as I was, as depressed as I was, at my most fat, like I ran the stage like a fucking caged lion. I always was like, these people paid to see this.
Well,
You know
I
what I'm
think
saying?
from my perspective, it was always like no matter how hard the tour was, that 60-minute set was when that started, like it shifted in you. You could see like that was
No, I never phoned it in.
that was like, okay, this is why I'm here and why I do this, and like smooth sailing for that hour. Before and after might have been tough,
yeah.
but I think during that time is what kept you going because
No, I don't give myself any credit for anything except that. Like, forget, I'm not going to say I'm a good rapper. I'm not going to say that. There's probably like 2 things I will say. I never phoned it in live or on tour. And I think I pick really good beats. I think I have a good ear for beats. You'll never hear me like, yo, top 5. Yo, I'm the best. Blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't get into none of that. But I will say, like, yo, if I was to like pat myself on the back, I never phoned it in. I've been sick. The one time I had to come home because I had some sort of bronchial infection, and my doctor in the States, in Philly, was like, yo, you were like a day from tapping. You stayed. And I performed that sick. Like, was I the best that night? I was the best I could be, you know? If you
Right,
were
yeah.
there, like my voice blew out, which Billy, you know, it doesn't. I just don't have that big. Like, there's people who won't talk to you. I think you've seen this, B, in my operation. There's someone specific who doesn't talk before shows because they don't want their voice to go out. I'm like putting on a 60-minute
drinking
stand-up
honey.
special. Yeah. I'm doing like my best material backstage, try to get V to laugh because she, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? She doesn't like crowds. I'm like doing my best Henny Youngman because my voice is strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it gave out then. And I was like about to tap in Germania. Like, I guess this is it. I guess it's hard as fuck to croak on tour. So I'm like, if this is how I'm going to go out,
That's it.
You know, that's hard.
Got to go up
But-
mid show.
Yeah, on stage tapping would be elite level tapping. To
Yeah.
do the Elizabeth, the Fred
That's
G.
it.
Sanford on the stage.
This is a big
Elizabeth,
one.
I'm coming. But
does
yeah,
that time on stage make it not feel like during that time like that doesn't feel like a job during that
I've
portion?
never had an episode, meaning a depersonalization thing. I've had it in my life. All right. So I've had this since I'm 14 years old, right? The depersonalization disorder, DPD. I've had like 3 quick bursts of it in my entire life on stage and immediately snapped back into it. It was horrible, but they didn't.
Right.
They did, you know, I didn't,
Mhm.
I actually didn't know where I was. I didn't know where I was or what I was doing. And it was like 10-second bursts. And one time on tour, it'll happen on tour. One time in the Czech Republic, it happened. I was in the shower, and you know how you close your eyes when you're washing the shampoo out? When I opened them, I had no idea where I was or how I got there.
It's crazy.
And
That
I
is
was like,
fucking crazy.
I was like, I don't.
That's some wild shit.
But no, the on stage. So we talk about. I don't know if we talked about this on Knock 'Em Out the Box. If we did, it's irrelevant anyway because that was a boxing show. I know but Brendan, you and I, and Billy, you and I don't know if we talked about it together, but when you look at someone like the Rolling Stones, you go, "Yo, Mick and Keith have to be 80, right?
They're in their 80s. They're 80 plus.
So we all know on this show and everyone listening, the last thing those guys need is more money. So then you go, why are you doing this? And I'm not wondering. I can tell you the answer. Okay. It's twofold. They got addicted to what that 2 hour, I'm going to say 2 hours because those dudes do fucking 2-3 hours and they kill it in their 80s.
Right.
They're not embarrassing themselves the way some acts are. You know what I mean? Who's the old Paisan dude that we keep sending each other the videos who looks dead? And people are like, yo, he's dead. They're just pushing him upstage.
Frankie Valli.
Is it Frankie?
In the Four Seasons.
Yeah,
He's
he
just
looks,
walking around.
Yeah, and his lips aren't moving to
Right, and they're just playing a backing track, and he just gets up there.
They're playing the dub, how they used to be
Right.
the dubs on the 12 inches where the hooks were all in there and stuff.
Oh, he's got a show in Hershey on April 24th.
Yeah, like who's pushing him out there, bro? Like what?
Brandon,
We
you
should
want to
go.
go? Yeah.
Let's go. Bring the kids.
I'll go to Hershey to see Frankie.
They'll be like, "Oh no, this is frightening. Who's that zombie?"
I saw Tool
Guys,
in
if you're-
Hershey before.
Go to TikTok or Instagram and find like new-ish Frankie Valli. He's poorly lip syncing and he looks like the Walking Dead creatures. So those guys are going through 2 things. One, because of how young they were in the 60s when they had their first hit,
Right.
they have no fucking idea how to function at their house and be like, I'm gonna put some footy on and
No, they
order
don't know how to relax.
some takeout, you know,
Yeah.
and name any normal thing you guys do that are listening to this. They're incapable of it.
Sure,
And
they're
trust
not
me when
normal.
not only are they not normal, guys, they don't know how to fucking order a cheeseburger.
Right, someone
don't know
has always done it for them.
So that's part of this. As I said, it's twofold. The other part, they are addicted to the drug that is created from those dopamine hits. For those, I usually do like 65 to 75 minutes on stage. Those guys have a 60-year catalog. You know, I have a 25 to 30-year catalog. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a believer in short and sweet. Not that 65 minutes is sweet, but I could theoretically do 2 hours. I don't believe. I don't want to see that as a fan, so I don't do that as an artist. If anyone ever said that, no one's ever complained, so I haven't switched it. You know what I'm saying? 65 or 75 minutes, do all the joints that people are going to go batshit crazy for, da-da-da-da-da. But that dopamine hit for some people becomes their version of chasing the dragon. That is their dope. That is their cocaine. That is their bottle of booze.
Well,
Bro,
that
like-
and women and having kids till you're 82 years old. Mick Jagger's got like little kids.
Yeah. Now, I don't know about them enough late in life. I know more about the Beatles late in life. John was dead at 30, you know, and then George lived a bit longer, much longer. And then, you know, Paul and Ringo, I don't really know much about the later lives of the Stones other than what you said, B, which is still like procreating when you're 110.
Yeah.
The only other person I knew who had like little kids at that age was Tony Curtis, had like a baby at 82. And I was like, that's crazy on 90 levels. The first one being you're selfish as fuck because you're going to tap soon.
Yeah.
And the kid is going to be, be
I mean,
fatherless.
talking about Tony Randall, not Tony Curtis, right? Tony Randall from The Odd Couple?
Yeah, one of the two of them. Yeah. Okay. That's who it was, right?
Yeah, Tony Randall.
But I was right with Tony Randall.
And then he died.
He did.
Yeah.
Tony Curtis is Jamie Lee Curtis's father. I mixed them up. Sorry, my apologies. Tony Randall did have a kid at like 80. And I was like, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. It's mad selfish.
Mhm.
But what I haven't heard them talk. Kurt, what's his name? Why do I keep forgetting his name? The guy who should be dead 50 times over.
Keith
Richards was on
Richards.
Howard Stern semi recently, and he's still chain smoking, but they don't know what to do, and I think at this age they don't want to.
No, why
would you?
I want 82 years old. It's like, I made it this far. I didn't think I was going to make it this far. I'm going to keep it going. This is what keeps me alive. They also look like they could blow over in the wind. They don't eat anything. They're
but
have you ever seen them in person? It's bizarre. They're like tiny.
Yeah, but what
like,
I'm asking both
sprites.
of you guys is, when you said no, you're agreeing with me that they don't know anything else. You're agreeing with me about the dopamine. You're agreeing with me that they don't even know how to order food or handle anything for themselves. Just for a brief second, let's take that away. They don't like footy enough to like dedicate themselves to just be like, oh, I'm gonna do a fucking podcast about, I don't know who their team is. You know what I mean? Say it's Arsenal or something.
Do they even have a team? Like, it's
no,
just,
I don't.
It's like whoever tells me to come on,
No, I know. It's like you have like Man City with the Gallagher brothers. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They like die for the team. You know what I mean? It's like their whole world.
Right.
All that Noel tweets, all that Liam tweets is Bumbaclot, one word.
Bumberclot.
Yeah, Bumbaclot, Rastas. Billy, that's just the tweet. Rastas. And the next tweet is Bumbaclot.
He calls people Rasta too, right? Like,
yeah, and then the next one will just be like the score of the Man City game, Billy. Then the next tweet, like 3 days later, will just be Rastas. Then
Fair enough.
Yeah. So, like, when it becomes all consuming, I guess I'm just what's all consuming to me is the creative process.
Mm-hmm.
So as the dopamine hits, these guys clearly aren't getting it from recording new material. And by every person that I heard a song from them, right? That would be their last/newest single. And I was like, for being 300, this is really good.
It's something it's like, what's it called? Something Diamonds, right?
I don't remember the title, but heads young and old that are Stones fans are horny for the single and the album. Now, my brain went right to, hey, were they chasing the dragon of making another good album because they haven't done anything that you don't want to throw out of the car window in 45 years?
Hackney Diamonds is the name of the song. And the album is Hackney Diamonds. Yeah, I don't know.
It's like widely regarded as the best thing in 45 years that they've done. Clearly, guys, they weren't horny enough for doing that.
They toured off of it. They won a Grammy.
That's what I mean. Wouldn't you go, no. We just made something ill for the first time in 45 years. That's the dopamine hit. They're like, no, pack it up. World tour, 180 dates. See you guys in 2026. And I'm like, what the fuck? This Metallica is just as loony. And they are proving the same.
Right.
Those guys are proving, and they're all sober. So it is not drugs and women for them.
Right.
It is strictly the dopamine hit. And they're not like doing the rapid pace writing. They're spreading shit out. They did the thing with Rick, and then the thing after that wasn't for like 5 more years. There was something in between. There was an EP of like leftover shit from Rick, but it wasn't new. I'm doing air quotes for those not watching. So, like, those guys were kids too. Kill 'Em All is 83, okay? So 43 years ago, We'd have to look up how all those guys, they're like pushing 60, same with Slayer. But Tom from Slayer was like, pack this shit up. I want to hang out.
I want
in
out of
Texas.
here, right?
I want out. I want to hang out with my wife and kids. Pack this up. And Kerry's like, nah, gonna keep going. And Kerry started his own shit just so he can tour.
Right.
He said it in the interview promoting his record. I'm only doing this new band, this Kerry King band, Billy, to facilitate so I can keep living on the road.
It's crazy.
So
There's a lot of comedians like that too. Like they'll just keep touring. You know, like I don't know. Rolling Stone gathers no moss. I don't know. You know, it's
Look, guys. Let me add something that's very important to this conversation that none of the three of us thought.
Hetfield's 62, by the way. He was 20 when Kill 'Em All came out.
I mean,
Crazy.
that's his whole entire life.
His
He
whole
doesn't
life.
know how to do anything.
Right.
He doesn't know how to do anything. He doesn't know how to order things, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for what it's worth, guys, I don't care how it's sold to you by them or their publicists and shit. They were huge out the gate. Kill 'Em All changed the world immediately, and they were out on the road.
Massive.
When they were making it, were they living in a fucking dilapidated,
Sure,
freezing cold building in New York? Yes. Post that, off to the races.
Right. But you know, it's
83
funny.
on-
It's funny. Like those guys, like the hobby they'll pick up, Vin. Like you're saying, like, yeah, they don't know how to order a cheeseburger, blah, blah, blah. But then they'll be like, well, I know how to fly a plane. They don't do like
Bruce Dickinson flies the Iron Maiden plane, Billy.
Yeah, like they don't
He's
get like
their flight guy. He
Right.
wears the gimmick, Billy, like the hat. The little
yeah, they
hat.
don't get like regular they don't think they skip over the exactly, Vin. They skip over the regular human being stuff.
Of course they do.
And then they just go right into like, so what? I have all this money. I can't just order a cheeseburger. I gotta learn how to fly a plane to the like where the cows roam that the cheeseburger originates from.
Bro, there's an Iron Maiden 747 that they own. It's not like, oh, we use this when we're touring. They, as a
That's
band,
fucking
were
dope.
like, it's called The Beast. And it says that on one side, and it's got the 666
And he
number,
flies
the
it?
Beast cover on the other one. And he flies it in the gimmick.
That's funny.
So they go to like Chile and do like, all right, we'll do 4, 5, 6 shows in South America, 150,000, 200,000 kids at each show, and talk about being older. Those guys are what, 10 years older than Metallica?
Yeah, gotta be, right?
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're doing 250,000 people a show. Billy, you should see their merch numbers, bro. They're doing like 2.5 million a show. Not
In
a tour,
merch?
a show.
In just
That's
merch?
insane.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
Jesus Christ.
They're like, according to them, the band, and according to Judas Priest, they now in their 70s are bigger, both bands, than they ever had. been.
Wow.
When they, according comparatively to the 80s, when they were on MTV,
Right.
both bands have said we are making more money now. And there are 75-year-old grandparents with 3-year-olds that are like their great grandkids at our shows with those ear things on that block
Yeah.
the loud noise.
That's like
They're doing like 2 million merch nights, Billy. They're
I wouldn't
doing
want to
like,
work that table.
Nah, I don't even know how it works. So, all right, you have 10 people doing it. How does that work?
Right.
It's
They're
like a
all over. Well,
professional-
you're
yeah,
in a.
it's like a-
I mean, you're in
it's
like
a
stadium
professional
at that
sports
point.
thing, right? It's
Right.
like going to like a Phillies game. You just go to the
I mean, the
booth.
footage in like Colombia, Chile, it looks like footy stadiums or
Yeah, it's
places
crazy.
that are just like, it's like Woodstock.
Yeah, it's an
There's
open
an
field.
open field in this
Right.
town that's like not occupied. Like, all right, no
That's what it is.
occupado.
Yeah.
Let's just do this because I'm not, by the way, I'm not making these numbers up. They're like 200,000. You can't see the end of them.
Right. It's crazy. Imagine
That's
being like
nice.
the last guy, like what you're looking at, like.
No, I don't even know what you're looking at. Are you just like cracking a beer in your backyard and like I'm watching?
I guess
Maiden?
they're all the way there. I see a little like what looks like a star. Yeah.
But yeah, what I brought up with these guys, and it was important that I left out, is a lot of the people that this show, okay, Pop the Trunk, that we are friends with, and it could be heavy metal, punk rock, it could be comedians, it could be hip hop. We didn't cover the fact some people have to tour.
Sure.
I was able to do this because I'm so blessed. So I wanted to get back to saying, B, one thing about me, I'm not such a miserable fuck where you were talking about, can you enjoy these things? when I'm able to separate myself, it's not about not knowing how blessed I am and that I take it for granted. I don't want that to come across when I said how much I hate touring. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a charmed life. And it's charmed that I was able to go to Billy and Jan and be like, yo, it's not healthy for me to tour anymore, so we got to slow it down. It went, yo, I already slowed it down once. I'm not doing 42 shows at a clip and being gone, you know, for 3 months at a time. Let's slow that down. And then I did that. And then I was like, yo, the slowed down ones are making me think things that aren't good. You know, bad thoughts, suicidal idealization, or whatever however I stumbled that word. But some of these people in the hardcore scene, the punk scene, underground hip hop guys, comedians, they chose this life. They were blessed enough to be able to do it for a living, but not at a level that was so high where they did so well that they can pack up one aspect of it, where they go, oh, I'm not going to do merch anymore, or I'm not going to record anymore, or blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? Like, we take a band like Tool, guys. I don't know how many records they've sold, millions, you know, but it's a lot. Like, Maine is just like, going away for 10 years and not doing a new album. Because, like, there's such a massive, there's this thing.
Doesn't he, like, live near Chappelle in Ohio, like in Yellow Springs
It's
or something
something
like
wild like that. But
and, like, they're like neighbors or something like that.
Brendan, do you remember we had a conversation of people that transcended what they are and their name has just become its own thing? Like Motorhead.
Yeah.
Slayer. Like, you're not, if someone goes,
yeah.
what's Slayer? What type of music? You're not like heavy metal. You're like, I don't know. They play Slayer. They sound like Slayer.
Yeah,
Because you couldn't be like, Slayer kind of sounds like blah, 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 blah. It's like a Tribe Called Quest did it in hip hop.
Right.
Like, you're like, I don't know. It's just Tribe. You become this thing that transcends the scene that you came from.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a great description of Tribe. Yeah.
Like, bro, Motorhead. You're like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
What is that? It's
like
Lemmy.
Their band sounds like punk, but Lemmy doesn't scream like that. So it's like the fringe of, but like dudes with mullets love them, but so did dudes with like spikes on their head.
Everybody loves Motorhead. There's no,
everybody loves Tribe.
That is fact.
I was like, yo,
that's a connection that only Pop the Trunk will make. A Tribe Called Quest and Motorhead in the same sentence, connecting the two.
And my thought is a lot of people listening right now like both of those bands.
Like both of those bands. What's the overlap?
Oh, Minor Threat? You're fucking right. Minor Threat's amazing.
Right.
What, are you crazy?
The overlap of Motorhead and Tribe Called Quest fans.
Yeah, that's if you.
Is that our target audience here?
You're listening,
I'm saying, who would open for who?
If you're listening to this and you go, yo, I love this show. It's called Pop the Trunk, and they're like, "What's it about?" And they're like, "It's for people who like Motorhead and Tribe Called Quest."
So now, Tribe Called Quest and Motorhead, Motor Quest. All right, they form.
Who opens up for who? They got to rotate.
That's what I'm saying.
10 dates, 5 and 5.
Who opens up for? Who opens
5
up?
5 and 5, man. It's like when you.
And do they collab?
Yeah, and Lemmy does something dumb, or it doesn't show up because he's
like
at the
AI Lemmy.
Lemmy's at the Rainbow and doesn't show up to the session that they have. That's probably how that ends up. But yeah, guys, there's something to be said about people who are in the great position of being creatives and living off it, but not having the ability to say, well, there's this one aspect of this that I don't love. That could be making music. There's people that hate making albums. They hate them. Look at the guys. You want to know who does? Look at people who don't put albums out. Or there's 5 years or 10 or 8. It's either writer's block. They don't like the process. They find the process difficult, but not just difficult. They find it difficult and not something that is I find it to be, I'm looking for a word that I can't find. There's some sort of, it's conquering something, achievement.
Right, achievement.
There is no achievement for them. It's just constant reworking. There's also those people who they're like, oh, it's been done for 5 years. We've been tinkering with it for 5 years. No. So I
Right.
don't pack that up. I don't get it. I never will. Movement, constant
Like,
movement.
that's
continuity.
that's like
get
the
better. You get better. Are you ill? People who do that, in my opinion, and I'm not talking you got to drop a record every year. I'm not. But if you get away from something, you end up being the rapper. And unfortunately, people from our golden era. You
Mhm.
know me. We look at them differently. I say
Yeah.
it's 88 to 92. I think you say it's 92 to
I think
94.
that is the golden era. It's just not mine.
Right. And everyone
Yeah.
shifts. And some people go, no, 92 to 96 is for mine. And then some people
Yeah.
go, no, 90 to 94 is for me. You know,
Yeah.
to me, let's just say for the argument, the guys from 88 to 92, the guys who went away for long periods of time, some of them that went away for long periods of time sound like the old uncle rapping at the barbecue.
Yo, it's crazy. Like,
The guys who never went away, KRS never went away. Cool
Right.
G never went away. So their sword is sharp.
right.
But look at the guys who were like, yo, I didn't hear from this guy for 8 years. They
Yeah.
sound like the uncle who won't give you back the mic at the barbecue, who's rapping like what's it called?
Sugar Hill Gang?
The Malcolm McLaren joint.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Mhm.
So if you're sounding like the Malcolm McLaren record in 2026, everyone's gonna pack him up. Man.
Can't do that.
Sound old. Jay-Z is their age or older because Jay was older when he got put on. Why did he never sound corny and still sounds great now?
Right.
Because he never fully went away. He stayed around sharp dudes too.
Right.
You're like staying with the dudes from your era and not listening to young boys or how they rhyme. Not that you got to hang around with a drill rapper in 2026 who's out doing drills and robbing old ladies. No, you don't do that either. But you don't even know what's ill no more. Like, I've been around OGs, B, and put on new shit. And they'll be like, what is this? But with like a negative connotation.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. Yeah.
You want me to tell you what it is? It's why you sound like the grandpa
Right.
at the
Mhm.
barbecue. That's who this is.
Right. Right.
You
Yeah.
not listening to anyone past this era.
Which is weird, right? Like, if this is your craft, you want to keep up with. It's a strange.
Nobody, look, it's a whole episode of Pop the
Yeah.
Trunk, what I'm about to say. But nobody does this but hip hop.
But hip hop, right?
Nobody ignores its architects like hip hop. If we say Bo Diddley and Chuck Berry are the equivalent to rock and roll, or Howling Wolf, that Cold Crush is the hip hop. Chuck Berry, if he was alive, would pack out any place he played.
Sure.
If Cold Crush Brothers reunites in 2026, who's going? Guess what? Not only is no one going, a booking agent wouldn't even start the fucking ball rolling.
I mean, Frankie Valley's going to be in Hershey next month. So.
Yeah. Frankie Valley's
I
still
mean-
packing them out in Hershey.
But what I'm saying is, and we're gonna go into it long form, name another subculture that treats its architects worse than hip hop. There are bands currently on tour in their 60s and 70s from the hardcore and the punk scene.
Some
Frankie
of which,
Va-
and we know we're close to some of them.
We know them. They're thriving. Is it a grind? Yeah, but they love it. So this doesn't apply
Right.
to any of them that are listening. Everything I said need not apply to everyone who loves the shit. These what's Vinnie Stigma from Agnostic Front, B, at this point?
He just turned
75? 'Cause
70.
He was, okay. He's their OG, right?
Yeah.
Craig Satari is not that old at all, but he's a road warrior and loves it.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Craig ahead.
In sick of it all. Craig ahead. Lou hasn't been feeling well, so they haven't been touring. Craig's like, yo, this other band, playing
Yep.
with Marky Ramone. I'm playing with my other band, right back out there. Road warrior, loves it, stays in shape, boxes. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
None of what I said applies to when you love it, when you love that. And that's where you go, yo, that's where I feel most at home. The difference with me is I don't disagree. That's where I feel most at home too. It's the other 20 hours in the day, because I do enjoy being in backstage and eating dinner with my guys and
Mhm.
ball busting. You know,
camaraderie.
I do enjoy that. So I'm not going to pretend like it's 24 hours, you know, but
Mhm.
19 or 20 is a lot to be unhappy. You know what I
Sure.
mean? So you just go, there's people that just, the parts that make me crazy, people love that. And it's part of their core memories of their lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I can't say no. This is something that we're a monolith. The artists are a monolith. Everyone hates this. everyone, you know, because
Yeah.
there's fucking people that hate when they have to write the record.
Sure.
Oh
And you
God,
love
we
that.
got to write the record so we can tour. There needs to be a new record. Kerry King factually said it. I'm not putting words in his mouth. He's like, I wrote this to tour it. And I'm
Right.
like, no, it's the opposite. You make the ill record because that's what your legacy is. You know, like you
Yeah.
made Rain in Blood, man. It's the best 29 minutes like ever for heavy music. And
Right.
it's not the mentality. It's like,
No,
no,
I guess everyone's got a different goal, different, you know.
and it's interesting. And we're gonna do as we have guests from this world, from comedy, from acting to hardcore to hip hop. As we start to have guests on, we can flip this whole conversation onto them.
Sure.
And say why do you like this? What part of this, you know? Oh yeah, well that's annoying. Flying's annoying, right? But it's not annoying enough. You love it enough
That you
where
keep doing
that
it.
balances this. Whereas what makes me want to never stop creating and having 78 songs in a folder that Billy has on his desktop for my next record, you know, that's going to drop this year. Well, how do I get from 78 to 13 or 14 in the next 6 months? You know,
That's the work.
That's the work. You know, and why is that the part that I love? And why is it not the part of like, yeah, I like write riffs and I put them on my phone and then like we meet up and everyone's got riffs on their phone, on their voice memos, and we start chipping away and putting songs together. Are you guys familiar with? I'm. Doesn't mean you listen to them. Are you familiar with the band named Converge?
Yes.
So they're on the cover of the new Decibel, B, and I read it because, like people we talked about, I think it's their first record in like 10 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this fucking article is an interview with every band member on Zoom, and they're talking about this record like I'm talking about tour.
Okay.
Like it's fucking, they sound fucking miserable in this interview. If I could get it to you guys via, like, you know, it's a physical magazine. You know what I mean? If I could just say, it's such a great read. Forget if you listen to them because I haven't listened to Converge record, not because I don't like them. I just don't have the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're by all accounts good dudes and they're smart. I respect how they've moved. And as you guys know, and maybe the fans do, maybe they don't. I patterned my career and how we move and how Billy and I run Iron Tusk and all that, like after labels like Discord and Revelation, not after Def Jam. And not after that wasn't that wasn't the plate, the template for us. It was Discord Records, it was Revelation, it was Epitaph, it was these dudes are selling records out of the house, out of the trunk. I later found out about dudes like E40 who were doing it very punk rock in the Bay. JT the Bigger Figure.
JT the Bigger Figure,
Mac
San
Mall,
Francisco.
Mac Dre. These dudes were doing 100,000, 200,000 units in their hood.
Right.
And I was like, yo, okay, that's punk rock as fuck. Let's mix and mesh all of this into how we run this. And we still do it to this day.
Right.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think just to kind of bring it all back around, it's like that's now without the touring, you found a love of podcasting. You found a love of, you know, continued love of going to the studio. So like your week is now, you know, set. You know what you're doing. It's filled with work in a different way that touring throws that off if you do go on tour.
Yeah, I think the thing you have to, the void is, okay, the void becomes like the inordinate amount of money that's thrown at successful artists to tour. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this like inherent guilt that people come from backgrounds like the three of us, B, and I've talked to you about this guilt, B, and Billy, you already know it because you live it with me. And then that becomes the thing of like, well, you're turning down mass amounts of money. How do you reconcile that with guilt of parents who work themselves to the bone? You know, it's tremendous amount of guilt for me.
Right.
Every time, you know, when there was this thing was put in front of me very recently, it was a one-off. Everyone from my, you know, booking agency knows there's not tours put in front of me because everyone knows that's dead, but these one-offs still get put in front of me. I don't even want them put in front of me, but they still slip through the cracks. And some, a huge money offer was there, and it's like I'm still guilty of it. I said no, and I still feel guilty about it.
Well, as we
Every
talked
day.
about, I don't think there's an amount of money that's worth compromising your mental health and the things you talked about here, tonight about how it makes you feel. And it's like, that's real shit. And if you don't have to do that, there's no amount of money that I think you should compromise that for.
I don't disagree, but I also understand that you understand like how hard your parents worked so that
Right.
you could go you and your sister could get educations. I don't know if your parents went to college. You know what I mean? For me, my niece is the first person to ever go to college in our family.
No, my parents didn't.
Yeah. Brendan, did your parents go to school? I know they're in the
They went to
medical
nursing
field.
school.
Right.
So it's
Which
not
is
like
hard
it's
as
not a
fuck, and they had to grind it out.
well,
to pay
it's
for it.
different. It's a different world now. When they went, it was a 2-year, like like the equivalent of a like an associate's degree. Both of them, not to go off on a tangent, but
No,
talk about how
it's not a tangent
It's
at
way
all.
too hard now, and that's why there's a nursing shortage. They've, that the colleges sunk their teeth in, and they're just trying. It's a money grab for the colleges. But anyway, yeah, no, I guess I get it.
How-
Again, it's hard for me to wrap my head around it because I would, but I understand if there's you have to be empathetic. So
The only thing you can do, the only thing I can try to do, it's not successful. The only thing I can try to do is find out what someone's most crippling fear is. Say yours was flying, right? I mean, to the point where you literally have never flown, like
Right.
Stoop. Okay, he has never flown, and he's so scared he took a boat to go to Europe. Okay, that's factually documented. That's not me weaving a tale for a podcast. Okay, he wouldn't deny it. I'm not blowing his. You know what I mean? I don't know if you have something like that in your life. I don't know if it's fire. I don't know if it's drowning. No, I'm being serious. You have to take it there with some people to go, what is the thing that cripples you? And if you go, yo, nothing cripples me, bro. I'm scared of some shit. I'm scared of fucking elephants, so I just don't go around a fucking elephant.
Right.
If you have a fear like that, you just navigate it by going, yo, I just don't do it.
Right.
Now, if you're Fat Joe was scared of flying, and he did what I did, because I'm scared of flying. Fat Joe was like, do I want to stay in the Bronx and stay a street dude? Or does the fear of flight outweigh success?
Right.
I weighed it, made a decision. Stoop made it and made his. His was to not fly and to stop and not tour every time. I made it to go grind it out and just be petrified. And I'm still petrified, but it's not worse than a job to me. The fear of flying isn't more fear of a fear than a 9-to-5 or square life. That's where the line was drawn. So here's another line. I don't know what someone's most scared of. Is it swimming? Is it flying? So if your most crippling fear is there a dollar amount that could get you on it? Stoop's answer was no. You know what I mean? No, but I'll take a boat so I can do this once with you. So I could tour Europe and do it with you as a group. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So he found the loophole, but you can't keep doing that
How
because
long
how
is that
long
boat
it
ride?
takes. 2 weeks on the water. So I'm like, bro, that's scarier.
To
He's
me,
like, no,
yeah.
I mean, no, he can logically tell you, no, you're right. Like, he's not weird about it. He knows it's not logical. The way that me being like, yo, I'm having a DPD attack. You can't talk logic now. I don't know where I am. I think I'm floating outside my body. You think that sounds normal to me?
Right.
Forget how abnormal it sounds to you. You think it sounds normal to me? You think I've normalized that? I haven't. It's still, but it's not any less real. There is no pill for that. When you were talking about meds, you can treat the symptoms. You could give me 4 Xanax to calm me down from the DPD attack that might eventually keel out, and I might eventually fall asleep from it. But there's nothing that makes me not feel like I'm not here. You know what I mean? There's no here pill. They have that. You hear people who take the antidepressants, right? A little joke. Them, not me. I'm not making light of it because I take antidepressants. Some people will joke to the point where they're like, my happy pills. I'm like, yo, give me what you got. Because it doesn't make me happy. It just makes me not really bad. But you'll see a happy motherfucker refer to it as like their happy pills. It's like some sort of
people,
joke.
everyone's response to chemicals.
Yeah,
is
because they're
different.
chemicals, man. And your
Right.
imbalances, some of your imbalances have been worked out by
Sure.
people that are much smarter than the three of us put together. And some haven't been. You know, bro,
Mhm.
there are doctors, like my regular normal doctor, it's not a shrink, will be like, yo, people know very little about your disorder. In
Right.
the grand scheme of things, I don't mean like they know nothing. When I first got it, I never heard the words. I didn't hear the words until well into the internet. And I started typing things into like a search engines. You know what I mean? Until I found it and saw the name, and I cried when I saw the name that in a good way.
Right. That
Because I
there's
thought it
something.
was
There's something there.
I told
I
you
can-
guys before in our personal lives, I thought I was in purgatory through like 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. I thought I died and was in between worlds for 3 years. Not 3 months. For 3 years, I thought I was trapped in between worlds because I would look at my hands and it would be like you put your arm around me and I was looking at yours.
Mm.
When you see in movies, when someone's looking, they always do it in hospitals for some reason. I guess that's because where you're
Looking down at the at their body.
Everything is exactly how you've heard from our childhood of watching someone describe it on Unsolved Mysteries.
Right.
Floating outside of your body. You're no longer inside of your body. Imagine feeling like that, but in Oslo, Norway. Forget at home. Feeling at home is bad enough.
I
but
probably
there's
wouldn't
some
tour
sem-
either.
It's
Certainly wouldn't go that far away.
the realization of how far away I was would trigger them so often. You know, the further away you get.
Yeah.
Because you use mind tricks, bro. No pun intended. You're like, I'm in London. I'm not close to Philly, but I'm the closest you can be.
Sure, they speak
You know what
the
I mean?
language here. I can communicate.
All of that contributes to your own mind. You know, it's not logical, but it becomes logical. Oh, this is like a slight language. Oh, I love a British culture because of like punk rock stuff. Oh, I'm 5 hours on the way home. You know, it's closer to
Yeah.
6 or 6.5 there. Oh, 5 hours. That's Philly to Boston. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you somehow like use these tools, and then you're in fucking Finland, or then you're in this place as far as you can get in Norway where there's no light, which of course I love. But you're seeing the northern lights and it's pitch black at 2 p.m. You know, and you're seeing the northern lights, you're seeing constellations and shit. And then you have an attack and you're like, "Oh, this is great. This is good. This is where I want to be, like at the fucking peak of a fucking breakdown." And you just go, there is no
can't do it anymore.
Yeah. And you try to remember what it felt like when you said to yourself, I can't do it anymore, when they're putting the next tour in front of you.
See,
Because you
that's the
feel
difference.
good now, babe. Do you know what I
Right.
mean?
So the difference that I have, I guess you were asking, like, is there anything that you're afraid of? So when a difficult situation like that, I will say to myself, I got through it, I could get through it again. And then eventually I don't know, I'm persistent.
Well,
I
that's
guess.
what I did for 25 years.
Right.
It's like, will that ever catch up to you? And that's not rhetorical. I don't know, meaning you.
Right.
Will the philosophy of I can do this, I've told you before, you work too hard. You work too many hours.
Right.
Are you going to like hit me with a breakdown one time? I don't mean in a literal sense but are you going to like hit me crying one day? I don't know. It's possible with how much you work.
No way. Never.
That like blue collar pride will kill a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And it kept me out there doing that as long as it did. You know, this like blue collar bootstraps. My parents were both poor on both sides of the family, immigrants. You know, it's when I did the Joe Rogan show, he put a word on. He was like, it's that immigrant mentality. He was agreeing with me with all this stuff. Like, yo, when you come from that, there is this mentality of like, it's the joke. I walked to school backwards, barefoot. And you're like, we hear so much of that you go, you're going to pay me to rap and I'm going to turn that down where I'm making what people make in a year. You know, I just recently I haven't looked in a few years at the annual estimation average of the U.S. salary. I was going to screenshot it in our group texts along with the offer that, of course, I'm not going to say on the air. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
be like, yo, can you see why this contributes to guilt? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like
I can.
You can't watch a parent work themselves to the bone and then not feel guilty about, yo, I get paid to make rap music. Well, perform it. Because I love making it. I love creating
in the
it.
same
Still,
breath, you work yourself to the bone in a different way doing it. Everything is, you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, but B, the thing is, it's like people don't think it's work, man. Like I've raised my voice at people that I love. Like you think this shit is sweet. I just had dinner with my brother and his wife, right? And I was like, yo, your kids grew up, meaning my brother's kids, my niece and nephews, with me as their favorite uncle and their OG. And I'm like, that's a terrible example. They think life's this.
Well, I mean, there's behind the scenes stuff that people don't realize. For you,
Well,
people
his wife leaned in and was like, yeah, but you work your ass off. And I'm like,
Right.
right. But they see the fruits of the labor.
Right. But what I'm saying is,
Draped in polo. I'm like, those dinks weren't on a fucking tour. What, you know what I mean? But this Billy sticking a camera in my face, asking me questions. You know, like if you don't see the grind, but
that's with everything. Like people always say to someone else, like, must be nice. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, you didn't see.
Right.
If one more person in my life, right, we can mark the date, says that to me, those 3 words, must be nice, I'm swinging on.
Nice.
Must be nice is like my trigger, bro. Everyone has trigger words and stuff.
Must
you know
be
what I mean?
nice.
A lot of people.
That's your trigger phrase?
No, you know, if someone says some racist shit around you, you're like, yo, man, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Must be nice will get me there. Like, what? No, what? Tell me what's nice. I remember Billy, Pablo came out for a quick, he came out the tour, you know how we usually end on the West, Billy, and then come home?
Mm-hmm.
So B was ending on the West Coast. He's like, yo, I'll do that last run, you know? Like,
yeah.
He did, of course, he did nothing, you know, but have fun. He came home, was like, pack me up. He was like, I wasn't recovered for like 2 weeks. I'm like, you did nothing. Now imagine what I do.
Right.
He's like, oh, bro, just those rides, just those like hours, just the limited amount of sleep from van time to night. Because B, you know this from being someone who's trained in boxing, and we have friends who are professional. You're adrenaline, bro. You can't come home from a championship fight or even a sparring session and go right to sleep.
Yeah, no.
Imagine rocking for 1,500 people, or imagine it's a bigger thing than that. Imagine it's a festival. I couldn't see the end of the people at the Splash Festival, bro. It was 75,000 people, and they're chanting your words. You think I'm going home and sleeping so I can get on the plane the next day?
Yeah, it's brutal, man. I mean, I was a part of it, and you're waking up at, like you said, I'm walking into a hotel room to wake them up at 6 a.m. because we got to drive, 10 hours to the next city or whatever it is. And
he did a run, Brendo, that was like Santa Ana, LA, San Fran, and then we went over to the Pacific Northwest and did, those places, like Seattle, because Seattle's lit,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
It's just like a little run, in which, again, we didn't give him a job. It's Pablo. That's original crew, you know what I mean? And he was like, yo, I was dead, bro. I was dead. I was with you 5-6 days. Had my own hotel room. You know what I'm saying? This is way past success. Everyone had nice hotels, their own rooms, tour van, Xbox, PlayStation, movies, nothing uncomfortable. You could, it never catches up.
Take me on tour.
Yeah, see, that's how it starts, Billy.
Take me on
he was
tour.
going to say it. He was going to
This
say
fucker
it.
will be like chip root,
Mhm.
chip root. Within 4 days. Yeah, all right.
No. Do that.
Billy, what's the saying? Blah, blah, blah have tried. Blah, blah, blah have failed. They can give a number. Like, like if you're fighting Floyd,
Right.
50 have tried,
Right.
50 have failed. They all said how they were going to beat Floyd. You'll be the 25th person that says it. I know people that work in warehouses, lifting pallets, overtime, people who do the do the bumpers thing. My brother does bumpers for a living. My brother owns a company. He fixes bumpers. He does very well for himself, right? That motherfucker was like, this is the shit. His fucking back's gone from, years of that, that kind of stuff from being in the car business. His back is shot. All he had to do was drive.
Driving's
this
tough
is some
part.
bullshit, bro. I'm like, I fucking told you. And then he like can help me. Billy can help me because there's numb nuts like you that's like, nah, bro, I'll tour over the chip route. Okay, you'll be begging for Poppy Store and all the homies you met, all the friends you made, all the Muslim brothers you made friends with, all the Dominicans or Rican boys you made friends with. You'll be in as you're snoring, Billy. You'll be like, me. Where's Amir? Where's Tito?
Me, sour cream and onion.
Me, sour cream and
Hey,
onion chips.
maybe that.
Yeah.
Maybe sour cream and onion.
I mean, look, it is that must be nice shit. Pack that up for anybody. Because people say it to everyone on this podcast, on Pop the Trunk, because all three of us own our own businesses. So that's a must be nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it ain't, man. It ain't. We worked hard enough to be able to have our own business. I guess this
I'm still
applies to
working.
people who are
Yeah.
handed shit. I guess.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
We don't come
Yeah,
from that
it's-
world. We don't come from that world. I guess you could say it must be nice to trust fund kids. Maybe I would say that to a trust fund kid. I don't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I have a friend who you guys know. They're famous. I don't mean kind of famous in the underground, as a literal famous person. And he has it must be nice life.
Mm.
Like in the literal sense. It's like, yo, must be. I've never said that because I don't have that in my character.
Right.
But my brain goes, oh,
Well, we're
fucking-
conditioned also to spend to our limit, right? Most people don't save; they spend to their limit. So, whether you make a little bit or a lot of it, you spend to your limit, and you got to work to maintain it. You know,
Yeah,
most
and
people.
and then you spend your life chasing the dragon.
That's what I'm
Again,
saying.
another drug, the Rolling Stones thing.
Boys,
Yeah, I
we
don't-
just went 2.5 hours. I
Yeah.
don't even think we realized it.
Yeah, that's lit. I don't know. Look, we have to figure out. I guess it's going to happen naturally, but how to, when things come to a natural end, as they have now, how to end the show. We had a way that we ended Knock 'em Out the Box. We had a way for years that we ended Broad Street Breakdown. We'll obviously give our info, but as of right now, I don't think our info is properly correct. We're gonna set up.
I got something set up. I got a little info to add.
Go for it.
So
We do want to take mailbag questions.
yeah, do we have an email set up?
Yep, I have an official email address.
Guys, if you wrote into Broad Street Breakdown, if you wrote in to Knock 'em Out the Box, if you're fans of those shows, this is going to go the same way. But unlike Knock 'em Out the Box, it's like we would answer a boxing question. That's that. These things can turn into whole subjects. If Billy or B look at a subject of a question you're asking us. So, yo, we want to see mad letters.
And we already got
understand-
some in KEOTB, which we will read
Cool.
at some point.
But what I'm getting at, Billy, is that it was very specific with boxing. Like, yo, do you think Lomachenko is going to faint more?
Yeah.
Right,
It's like that is
right.
very. There's a specificity to that. Whereas with this, it's like you could ask us anything. Don't hesitate. If you're a listener that never wrote in, write in. We want because
Let us know what you think.
I hear from mad people. You know, we hear from people on Twitter and IG all the time, just shouting us out like, "Yo, we listen," and we love that. But get involved because that's what this is for.
Yep.
If you, whatever direction you want to go with my music career, more touring stories, or no, I don't like touring stories. Or do you want to hear horror stories of tours, or do you want to hear, you know, more about people I worked with? We're
I got
planning
some
on
good
doing all
tour
that, by the way.
stories.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about all that anyway. But you know, like I said, you know, in the little commercial buildups we're doing, we're gonna talk about everything under the sun. There's nothing we're like, nah, that's corny. You know?
Yeah, and we need everyone to spread the word, get the listens up. We're gonna be releasing the YouTube videos of the podcast on the Vinnie Paz YouTube page.
Yeah.
So we need those numbers to be ran up so that we can really get this going. And
Guys,
dig
the
our
plan
heels
is
in.
to go like full force with this shit on some like this is a like weekly real professional podcast that does real shit like real podcasters do. You know, it's niche because, you know, it's a subculture. Hip hop is a subculture, but it's also global. And what we'll talk about isn't
Well,
as
and it's
niche
the
as
biggest.
boxing.
It's hip hop's the biggest music in the last 40, 50 years. So
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
absolutely the biggest American culture
Sure.
ever produced. You know, and guys, we're going to talk about it in long form because Brendan and Billy are hip hop fans. Billy's younger. We have ideas to press him about. Yo, Billy likes Cool Keith, but how much does he know Ultramagnetic? That's a whole episode right there.
It's a
Does he
whole
know who
nother
Paul
episode.
C is? You know, does he know the members of Ultra besides Keith? You know, all of that. There's so many places we can go. B and I discuss just talking about albums, man. We might do a whole show talking about
Could be.
the aforementioned Tribe Called Quest. We could do an hour on Low End Theory.
I
and
mean,
where
our
we
last
were.
podcast, we dedicated our merch to, you know, it was an homage to Midnight Marauders.
Yeah, so
So-
there you go. It's like, guys, this is low hanging fruit for us. We talk about this anyway.
To entertain you guys.
Yeah, to you fucking nudniks.
I'll ride a unicycle and juggle.
You can find me on Twitter at Vinnie_Paz. You can find me on Instagram at BoxCutterPazzy. 2 videos, Head of David, and what's the other joint we shot a video for, Billy? Perfect Enemy.
Perfect Enemy.
Go run them up on YouTube. New Vinnie Paz music coming this year. Army of the Pharaohs we reignited after the holidays. There was a little blip there, but everyone had to do the holiday things. The Violent by Design colorway sneakers, Pioneer Ones, JMT joints are at jmtstore.com. I have a JMT store exclusive only record called Hidden Treasures. It's B-sides and unreleased shit. We're going to press it up on limited vinyl, but you don't have to buy the vinyl if you only want digital. I don't know why you wouldn't want the vinyl, because we're only printing 300 of them, and I'm going to sign them, and it's going to look like an old 12-inch with the sticker on it, be like we used to see back in Fat Beats era.
It's Hidden Temple.
What did I say? Hidden Treasures?
Yeah.
I've done this is like the third time I
Third or
did that,
fourth
isn't
time,
it?
yeah. It's Hidden
Yeah.
Temple. So you guys out there, go to JMT.
What do you do when you don't know the
JMTstore.com.
name of your own record? What, do you just quit in life?
No, you do a
is this-
podcast with me so I can remind
So
you.
you can fix it?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what kind of fucking business partner is Billy? I'm in business with both of you, and who saved me?
I wasn't listening.
And you can
Sorry,
find me
I
at
was-
the Killer B24 on Twitter and at Brendan Long KEOTB on Instagram. But I'm gonna have
Hate
to
that.
change that. You hate
I
that?
hate that. Yes, because it's the new. It should be Brandon Long PTP.
PTP. Well, let's see if that might get changed. So you guys gotta run these numbers
Billy,
up, and I'll change it
give
to be more
your-
relevant.
Unactive IG, because as the show starts, finding its footing, I think you may or may not be more active. But you made the funny account.
Yeah, it's at Billy_Bindlesticks, and we will get into why
You
they
are
call me
Billy
Bindlesticks.
and are currently Billy Bindlesticks.
And I'm
Epidemic.
currently
yeah.
Bindlesticks after the Super Bowl
Right.
and losing all my bets.
Right.
But we'll start posting on there. We'll get some social medias going. We don't have an Instagram account yet, but we will by the
Yeah,
time
by
this
next
airs.
by next episode, we'll have. Oh, do we give out the email?
No,
for
and send emails to mailbag@popthetrunkpod.com. That's
Say it again.
mailbag@popthetrunkpod.com.
mailbag at popthetrunkpod.com. Right in there, whatever you at, we'll talk about it. We don't, nothing sacred. All right, we appreciate you being here and listening on our maiden voyage. This
Episode
is
1.
this is the beginning of hopefully another 20 years of this. And we will leave you with this. Say goodnight, Billy.
Good night, Billy.